Hello everyone, and welcome to a story revolving around the word judge, a profession that's both familiar yet shrouded in mystery. Behind the title of judge lies a world of countless cases, big and small, riddled with intricate conspiracies and fierce battles. It's not just a fight against criminals but also against demons disguised by the law itself. Our protagonist, Li Hanjiang, is a man who lost that very battle, unjustly losing his life, but in a stroke of luck, justice sides with him, granting him a second chance at life, memories intact. Judge Li believed in the execution of justice, yet he himself was falsely accused and sentenced to death. Now given a second chance at life, will he cling to his integrity from his past life? And what will his journey of revenge look like? Join Judge Li Hanjiang as he bravely navigates through conspiracies, exposing the demons who have eroded the nation's law. The captivating emotions of this story are all yours to experience. Our story begins in 1980, Seoul. We find ourselves in a bustling residential area with houses huddled close together, alive with the sounds of children playing and their joyous shouts echoing through the streets. Block it, block it. This way, this way. It's Hanjiang's turn. The children's laughter and playful banter fill the air. Here it comes. A child's voice rings out, his small hand clutching a round marble. With a flick of his wrist, the marble shoots forward, rolling across the ground as cheers erupt from the surrounding children. Amazing. Just as expected from Hanjiang. But suddenly, the marble comes to an abrupt stop. A foot, belonging to someone unseen, blocks its path. Young Hanjiang looks up in surprise at the person standing before him. It's a Buddhist monk, clad in the worn robes of his order, his head covered by a traditional hat. He stares silently at the boy, leaving him utterly perplexed. Look here, little one, do you think you can overturn this nation? The monk finally speaks, his eyes narrowed, leaving the boy even more confused. The adorable boy, his face smudged with dirt from playing, widens his eyes and asks, "What do you mean?" The monk offers no explanation, simply chuckles and says, "It seems you'll be turning this nation upside down after you awaken from death." The boy is dumbfounded by the cryptic words, thinking to himself, what is he talking about? I want to ask what he means. A mysterious smile spreads across the monk's face as he continues, truly a once-in-a-millennium phenomenon. When the time comes, think carefully and take your next step, young one. With those words, he turns and walks away, leaving the bewildered boy behind. The other children, witnessing this strange exchange, gather around Hanjiang. What did he say? I don't know, I think he's crazy, just talking nonsense. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the bustling street. The young boy watches the monk disappear into the distance. He said, I'm going to die, and then I'll be reborn. The monk's intriguing and somewhat lonely figure fades away into the twilight. Time, in a chaotic yet swift current, leaps forward to the year 2030. We find ourselves in a modern Seoul, a gleaming metropolis of towering skyscrapers. Voices echo down a hallway. It's not like we're going to war, what's wrong with you? A young man with a stoic expression and dark, blue-tinged hair replies, you heard the news too, right? You must know why. Ah, so you want me to give him a suspended sentence? Too obvious, don't you think? You're really going to put Chairman Jang Tae-sik behind bars, aren't you? Asks a man with brown hair, dressed in a pinstripe suit. Hearing his friend's question, the young man with the cold demeanor, Li Hanjiang, thinks to himself, Jang Tae-sik, chairman of Juzong Group, Korea's leading corporation. The chairman, embroiled in corruption allegations, confidently declared to the press, the truth will be revealed in court, certain of his victory. You think you can get reappointed after evading taxes, embezzling funds, and hiding assets overseas every single day? I can't believe he's trying to get away with this. I'll show him what's impossible, Li Hanjiang thinks, his gaze hardening. No way, right, Li Hanjiang? His companion's voice snaps him out of his thoughts. He glances at the man beside him and thinks, Kim Jun-hyuk, he used to be so full of integrity, what happened to him? Li Hanjiang, with his steely gray eyes, ponders for a moment before responding, the final hearing hasn't even begun yet. I don't think you should be jumping to conclusions. Kim Jun-hyuk groans, holding his head, come on, this is giving me a headache. Frustration creeps into his voice as he continues, don't play dumb now and pretend to be calm. Don't you remember how you single-handedly brought down that promising second-generation conglomerate in the electronics industry? Li Hanjiang fixes him with a steady gaze. I don't know what's so wrong about that, I simply delivered judgments according to the law. Kim Jun-hyuk, refusing to back down, mutters, stop lying, why do you keep fooling yourself? Why do we both have to struggle to succeed in this damned world? Yeah, say you had to sacrifice others to climb up here until now, but now we have power, don't we? Don't you think you should live a life of atonement from now on? Li Hanjiang says coldly. What power? Wake up! We're still just servants, you idiot. Kim Jun-hyuk explodes, making Li Hanjiang wince. Quiet down, you're being too loud. Listen carefully, Li Hanjiang, this trial is truly your last chance. If you don't want me to die right now, just give him a suspended sentence, please. I'm begging you, Li Hanjiang. Kim Jun-hyuk pleads desperately.
Li Hanjiang remains silent, a cold laugh bubbling up inside him. Huh, you're going to die?
How dare you call yourself a judge with just one last trial left? The scene shifts to a courtroom where Judge Li Hanjiang sits solemnly, preparing to deliver his verdict. From now on, we will address the defendant, Jiang Tae-sik. It is now time for me to pronounce the sentence. Based on the facts presented and discovered, the court decides. As the judge speaks, defendant Jiang Tae-sik sits calmly below, as if certain of his imminent acquittal. But things don't go as planned. Li Hanjiang's voice rings out, cold and resolute. The court sentences defendant Jiang Tae-sik to 15 years in prison and a fine of 18 billion won.
The words hit Jiang Tae-sik and his defense attorney like a thunderbolt. Your Honor, what are you talking about?
The courtroom erupts in gasps of shock, everyone stunned by the unexpected verdict.
Even the conglomerate's employees can't believe their ears. What? Chairman Jiang Tae-sik is sentenced to prison? After the trial, Kim Jun-hyuk explodes in fury. Are you insane? Damn it, the stock price is going to plummet now. What the hell? Why did you send Jiang Tae-sik to prison? Weren't you so afraid of him?
That's why I hate working with idiots. Kim Jun-hyuk clutches his head in a mixture of anger and despair. A month passes quickly. In a shocking turn of events, Judge Li Hanjiang is arrested. He's surrounded by a swarm of reporters, their questions relentless, their microphones thrust towards him, and the angry shouts of the public ringing in his ears. People in the shopping mall watch the news unfold on a large LED screen. Isn't that the judge who sentenced Jiang Tae-sik to prison? I can't believe a judge would murder someone to destroy evidence. The news anchor's voice cuts through the noise. Viewers, this afternoon, the final trial of former Judge Li Hanjiang, who was arrested for murder, was held. Murderer Judge Li Hanjiang, yes, it was utter chaos with insults and arguments. Former Judge Li Hanjiang continuously denied all accusations.
As the anchor describes, Li Hanjiang's trial is a whirlwind of chaos. The defendant, Li Hanjiang, shows no remorse whatsoever. A lawyer stands, pointing accusingly at Li Hanjiang.
He continued to commit crimes while standing on the bench, judging others. As a judge, he has betrayed the public's trust in the judiciary with shameless acts and unimaginable crimes. And he still denies committing any crimes, even though the evidence presented is clear and accurate. Li Hanjiang, seething with anger, can't help but retort sarcastically, "Spare me the dramatics." The judge slams his gavel, demanding order. Defendant, please remain silent. The lawyer then calls forth a woman. Judge Li Hanjiang's wife, Ms. Yashihai, will be my witness.
Li Hanjiang's face pales as he recognizes the woman entering the courtroom.
The woman with short auburn hair takes her place on the witness stand. She addresses the court with a clear voice. He accepted 1 billion won and agreed to their demands for that trial, he told me himself.
Li Hanjiang explodes in rage. What? Yashihai, when did I ever say that?
He jumps to his feet, but the judge quickly intervenes. Defendant, please sit down. Ironically, the judge presiding over Li Hanjiang's trial is none other than Kim Jun-hyuk. He turns to Li Hanjiang's lawyer. Do you have anything else to add in his defense? Li Hanjiang's lawyer, looking anxious and defeated, stammers, as a judge, the defendant has dedicated himself to the judiciary, although his crimes are somewhat significant. I implore the court to show leniency towards my client. Li Hanjiang loses it. Are you crazy? Unable to contain his fury, he throws a powerful punch at his own lawyer. You call yourself my defense attorney, you bastard? He points at Yashihai, his voice shaking with rage, and Yashihai, how dare you lie in court? His outburst prompts the judge to order the guards to restrain him. Get him out of here.
Now. Get your hands off me, you bastards.
I can't believe he used to be a judge. News of Li Hanjiang's arrest spreads like wildfire, garnering national attention. Good thing he put some influential politicians and businessmen behind bars, even Chairman Jiang Tae-sik. Li Hanjiang watches the news coverage in his cell, his face etched with disgust. Those devils are good at spinning stories. The anchor's voice continues. And Yashihai, wife of Judge Li Hanjiang, appeared as a witness for the prosecution. Yes, this came as a surprise. Now, let's see the interview. On the television screen, Yashihai faces a throng of reporters. I'm so sorry, it's all my husband's fault. The victim's wife came to our house with their child, begging me to save her husband. I also feel so guilty towards those going through such difficult times. She dabs at her eyes with a tissue, feigning tears. Li Hanjiang watches her performance, his eyes cold and filled with disgust. That bitch. He glares at the screen, his mind racing back to their past. Yashihai, we got married without love. We entered a marriage contract for our own needs, but even after living together for so long, you still haven't shown an ounce of loyalty. Back in college, I played the role of Donnie. That woman would have nailed this role, Li Hanjiang muses to himself, stroking his chin. Suddenly, the television screen goes dark.
Hanjiang turns towards the door, spotting the newcomer.
Kim Jun-hyuk strolls in, switching off the TV. Why are you so focused on watching TV when you're the one being slandered?
Li Hanjiang shoots him a cold look. Where's my lawyer?
And why is the judge here himself? Kim Jun-hyuk settles into a chair, his tone casual. Why so stiff?
can't I visit my friend? He takes a seat across from Li Hanjiang.
Li Hanjiang stares at him coldly. Who's your friend?
Kim Jun-hyuk smirks. Come on, Li Hanjiang, aren't we in this together?
Cut the crap and tell me why you're here, Li Hanjiang snaps, his patience wearing thin. Don't beat around the bush. You married a woman you didn't love, and now you're sitting here helpless. Meanwhile, I'm the one who has to judge you with this mountain of fabricated evidence. As a judge, it hurts my pride. Li Hanjiang's eyes narrow. What are you getting at?
I'm asking you, you bastard.
Ignoring his question, Kim Jun-hyuk places a small, carefully wrapped pill on the table. Li Hanjiang's gaze falls on the pill, along with a glass and bottle of soju sitting nearby.
He stares at Kim Jun-hyuk, his eyes filled with apprehension. What's this? Kim Jun-hyuk's face remains expressionless. Your favorite soju and cyanide. I'm here to deliver your death sentence. Li Hanjiang's eyes widen in shock. Unbelievable, you want me to drink this?
He lets out a humorless chuckle, his voice laced with bitterness. Kim Jun-hyuk stands up, fixing Li Hanjiang with a chilling stare. By the way, how's your mother doing these days?
If you don't drink it, I'll have to pay her a visit.
The threat against his mother sends Li Hanjiang over the edge. You bastard. He lunges at Kim Jun-hyuk, throwing a powerful punch. But Kim Jun-hyuk is quick to react, catching his fist midair. Hold on.
What's gotten into you?
You have no other choice. Don't make things harder for yourself. Kim Jun-hyuk smiles coldly. Realizing his helplessness in the situation, Li Hanjiang seethes with frustration and restrains himself.
He slowly regains his composure, sinks back into his chair, and says, Are you kidding me? This is a detention center. You think a judge like you can get away with killing me here?
Hanjiang glares coldly at the smug Jun-hyuk sitting across from him. Well, I can't guarantee that you'll drink it here or not. Either way, you're going to die within the next 3 days, Kim Jun-hyuk declares coldly. Kim Jun-hyuk's blunt and unconcealed declaration leaves Li Hanjiang stunned once again. Former Judge Li Hanjiang, unable to cope with the shock of the trial's verdict, committed suicide by cyanide poisoning on a nearby hill after escaping the detention center. Looking at the triumphant Kim Jun-hyuk, Li Hanjiang asks coldly, Who the hell ordered you to do this?
Kim Jun-hyuk simply smiles mockingly at Li Hanjiang, refusing to answer.
Li Hanjiang growls, emphasizing each word, I asked who planned this, you son of a bitch. Come on, you already know the answer. Chairman Jang Tae-sik is behind this. Do you have any idea how badly Juzong Group's stock price plummeted when you put him in jail?
And Chief Justice Kong Shinchin, do you think those big shots can just stand by when someone messes with their assets?
He was furious that you dared to throw someone as important as him in jail out of principle, Kim Jun-hyuk says, his gaze turning menacing.
My friend, why did you do that? If you had just given up then, I wouldn't have to do this.
He casually opens the bottle of soju and pours it into the glass. Oh, look at the time. The higher you climb, the more you desire. Greed knows no bounds, so don't hate me, he says, his voice soft but laced with malice. Besides, don't keep everyone waiting, drink it. There are a lot of people outside right now. They came with their families. Don't you think you'll ever get another chance like this? Kim Jun-hyuk taunts, meeting Li Hanjiang's furious gaze.
Drink it, urged by Kim Jun-hyuk. Li Hanjiang's hand trembles as he reaches for the glass.
He stares at the poisoned drink, a sense of despair washing over him. So this is how it ends?
Damn it, the power I held never mattered.
This, a pathetic death like this, is this the reward for making the right decisions? He suddenly looks up at Kim Jun-hyuk.
I just want to ask one thing, how can I trust you to ensure my mother's safety?
Kim Jun-hyuk feigns concern, I'm your friend, how could I possibly harm your mother?
Enough with the chatter and just drink it, Li Hanjiang.
A cruel smile spreads across his face. Farewell, you bastard. Li Hanjiang's eyes burn with hatred, wanting nothing more than to strangle the man in front of him. He screams internally.
You bastard, Kim Jun-hyuk. Kong Shinchin and all those other scumbags.
I swear I'll judge every single one of you, even in death. News reports begin to circulate about the discovery of former Judge Li Hanjiang's body on the hill near the detention center, after his supposed escape. Kong Shinchin, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, reads the news article on his phone, his expression unreadable.
Go after him. One of the judges got away.
He turns to a man beside him, his voice low and threatening. I need you to be careful until the very end, and beyond. From now on, you keep your mouth shut and lie low for me.
The man he's addressing is Kim Jun-hyuk.
Kim Jun-hyuk offers a nervous smile. Yes, sir, I understand. He clutches his head, groaning. Ugh, my head is killing me. Oh right, I drank cyanide. My god, am I in a hospital? Li Hanjiang regains consciousness slowly, his vision blurry. Your Honor, a voice jolts him fully awake.
He sees a prosecutor standing before him, repeating the address, Your Honor? Am I in court? Confusion clouds his mind.
I'm sure I died in that detention center after I drank the poison Kim Jun-hyuk gave me, but why am I in court? Well, I've heard that people experience flashbacks before they die, which is why we should live good lives.
But wouldn't it be better to see some beautiful women on a beach? Why am I stuck seeing a courtroom on my way to the other side? The prosecutor continues to address him, a hint of fear in his voice. Do you have any idea what will happen if you keep dozing off, Your Honor?
His voice makes Lee Han-jang jump. Damn it, you scared me. He finally focuses on the man in front of him. Why does this guy still have that sad look on his face, even now? Ah, right, Park Chun-kwa, he realizes, although he looks young, he must be that prosecutor, Park Chun-kwa. He was promoted early for his honesty, but he's so stubborn that he refuses to bow down to anyone. Come to think of it, he died in a car accident a year ago. But ignoring that, I can't believe I'm seeing his face before I die. This is messed up. I didn't want to see any guys before I died. Let's begin, Park Chun-kwa announces from below. Defendant, Kim Sang-chi. Lee Han-jang's eyes widen as he notices a man with short-cropped hair sitting in the defendant's area. What? Kim Sang-chi? That criminal from my first genius case as a judge, 20 years ago? He broke into someone's house to feed himself after losing his job and got caught in the act. It was a case full of sympathy. He claimed he hadn't eaten in over a week. At that time, all the newspapers and media outlets portrayed him as a pitiful man forced into crime. Kim Sang-chi's lawyer begins his defense. The defendant, Kim Sang-chi, committed the crime unintentionally while suffering from hunger, and he's deeply remorseful for his actions. Lee Han-jang, his face hidden in the shadows, suddenly speaks, his voice cold and hard. Kim Sang-chi, look up. Kim Sang-chi looks up, tears streaming down his face. He appears utterly remorseful. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I deserve to die. I was so hungry last week, driven by hunger, I did things a human being shouldn't do. Lee Han-jang's voice cuts through the act. Was it just a coincidence? The defense attorney jumps in. Prior to this incident, the defendant, Kim Sang-chi, only drank water for an entire week to satisfy his hunger. Furthermore, he stopped by the bank and the community center, hoping to receive blankets, but all he got were damp ones. Frustrated, Lee Han-jang interrupts. Counselor, I'm asking Kim Sang-chi, not you. Ah, yes, my apologies, Your Honor. He turns to the defendant. Kim Sang-chi, tell me, was it truly unintentional? Kim Sang-chi cries harder. Your Honor, I was just so hungry that I couldn't think straight. All I wanted was a spoonful of rice. I'm truly sorry, I'm so sorry. As he wails in faux remorse, Lee Han-jang asks, do you feel any remorse for the victim? His question is met with more fake crying. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I deserve to die. This bastard doesn't deserve to live. Lee Han-jang's cold, hard statement shocks everyone, especially the prosecutor. The defense attorney and Kim Sang-chi are speechless. What? Why, Your Honor? Lee Han-jang speaks with chilling finality. Prosecutor, rewrite this case. What if it wasn't just a simple case of petty theft? As the prosecutor gapes at him, he continues, we don't have enough evidence, so rewrite it. Park Chun-kwa stammers, and not enough evidence? Lee Han-jang fixes his gaze on the defendant. Kim Sang-chi, you know why I'm doing this, don't you? But Kim Sang-chi just shakes his head frantically. No. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll live an honest life from now on. I swear I won't ever do that again. Kim Sang-chi's cries are drowned out by the defense attorney's outraged shouts. Lee Han-jang silences him with a furious glare. You. Straight to death row, you piece of trash. Park Chun-kwa is utterly flabbergasted by Judge Lee Han-jang's outburst. Your Honor, what are you doing? What? How can you say that, Your Honor? The defense attorney cries out in disbelief. Lee Han-jang ignores them, his eyes fixed on Kim Sang-chi's face. He's Kim Sang-chi, he thinks to himself, his gaze hardening. No one knew back then, but Kim Sang-chi is a serial killer. He killed 4 people. He snuck into that house with the intention to kill, not to steal. I gave him a suspended sentence because I fell for his lies and that innocent act. Little did I know, he would become a huge pain in my ass when he was exposed as a serial killer. At that time, the headline screamed, serial killer uses tears to deceive judge, and to make matters worse, he killed 2 more people after he got out of prison. One of them was a 9-year-old boy. He was a real piece of work. Lee Han-jang walks down the hallway, his thoughts consumed by the past. Anyway, there's nothing more satisfying than giving him the death penalty right here, right now. I vowed to judge those evil bastards, but they got me first. But it's all in the past now, I can't hold on to this lingering grudge. Because it doesn't matter in my life anymore, let's just forget about everything. I can finally take off this robe and spend the rest of my days on a beach. Lee Han-jang embraces the thought of a new life, a fresh start. But as he's lost in his daydreams, a foot suddenly connects with his face, sending him crashing to the ground. What the? He cries out in his mind, stunned. I can feel pain? How? A man stands over him, having delivered the powerful kick.
The man lands lightly on his feet and glares down at Li Hanjiang. Li Hanjiang clutches his head, bewildered and in pain. Ow, ow, ow. What the hell was that? He looks at the man, confused and disoriented. What? Wait, what is this? Is that the Grim Reaper here to take me? The man, his face stern and furious, bellows, "Hey! What are you staring at? Get to my office right now, you crazy bastard."
Li Hanjiang stares at him, bewildered and utterly lost.
No way, that voice, it's... Inside the man's office, a furious voice echoes, loud enough to be heard down the hallway. "What the hell are you doing, sentencing a petty thief to death? Have you lost your goddamn mind? Hey, you! Is it because it was your first trial? Or did the defendant do something to you?" The enraged man points a finger accusingly at Judge Li Hanjiang. "If you want to cause trouble, then shut up and resign. Is this what I taught you, you bastard? Get back to your position as an associate judge." He throws a stack of files at Li Hanjiang, who can only stammer a weak apology, "I'm sorry. No more trials for you until further notice. Go reflect on your mistakes in your office, understand?" Li Hanjiang stands there silently, absorbing the tirade, his eyes fixed on the man before him. People like him, those who are appointed as government officials, they go to different judges according to their agreements and turn them into apprentices, he thinks. The man yelling at me right now is Chief Justice Lim Chonsik. 20 years ago, he was the judge when I was still an associate judge. But who would have known what's happening now? Li Hanjiang sighs inwardly. His silence only fuels the Chief Justice's rage. "Get out of here." Li Hanjiang escapes the tirade and rushes down the hallway to the bathroom at the end of the building's office row. He stares at his reflection in the mirror, his eyes widening in shock. "Oh my God!" he exclaims, touching his face, "I'm so young. I don't even have any wrinkles." He studies his youthful features, marveling at the unfamiliar reflection. The scar from that sword wound on my right side is gone too. He quickly pulls out his phone to check the date. October 11th, 2010. Is this 20 years ago? Li Hanjiang stares at the phone, his eyes filled with disbelief. He replays the events of the day in his mind. The young face of Park Chung-kwon in the courtroom. The pathetic pleas of the criminal, Kim Sang-chi. His own booming declaration of the death sentence. And the feeling of relief, like a weight had been lifted. So everything that's happening right now is... A long-buried memory resurfaces, the image of the mysterious monk and his words. "Ha, it seems you'll be turning this nation upside down after you awaken from death. When the time comes, think carefully and take your next step." The monk's words echo in his mind, clear as day, as if the encounter had happened yesterday. Li Hanjiang calms himself, a humorless chuckle escaping his lips. So that monk's words were true? I've really returned to 20 years ago, with all my memories of the future intact? I thought it was all over, but you want me to relive those lingering emotions again? He clenches his fists, a mix of disbelief and determination washing over him. "Alright, now that I have this chance, I have to plan carefully. Just you wait, I'll take care of each one of you." Slowly and meticulously, a chilling smile spreads across his face. Wait a minute, a sudden realization dawns on him, his face paling. If all of this is real. He stares at his reflection, a silent scream escaping his lips. "Straight to death row, you piece of trash." He remembers his outburst in the courtroom, the echoing declaration of the death penalty, and the Chief Justice's enraged words, "You bastard. Get back to your position as an associate judge." Li Hanjiang leans against the sink, exhaustion and panic setting in. Damn it! Why didn't I realize this sooner? He groans inwardly. I can't believe I caused such chaos during my first trial. And no matter how bad Kim Sang-chi is, I can't sentence him to death for stealing some snacks. I have to do something about this. He racks his brain for a solution, then his eyes fall on his empty hands. Wait a minute, the investigation report. He remembers his moment of reckless freedom, throwing his arms wide open and laughing as the files scattered in the wind. Damn it! It's all a mess now. He dashes out of the bathroom, his face a picture of panic. I have no choice but to clean up the mess I just made in the past, he thinks frantically. My memories are so hazy, I need to rest for a while and try to remember what happened back then. My precious office, I'm finally back. He opens the door with a relieved sigh, then freezes, his eyes widening in shock. He stares at a young man with brown hair and familiar violet eyes. The young man greets him politely. Judge Li Hanjiang, are you okay? The chief seems really angry. He was. Still reeling from the shock, Li Hanjiang can only blurt out, you bastard. Confused, the young man with brown hair blinks at him. Huh? What did you say?
The innocent reaction makes Li Hanjiang realize his mistake. Oh, no, this is the past, nothing has happened to him yet. He quickly backtracks. I apologize. He walks over to the closet and hangs up his robe. The young man with brown hair is none other than Kim Jun-hyuk from 20 years ago. He tries to comfort Li Hanjiang. He's not very bright, but he cares about you a lot, so I think everything will be okay in a couple of days. Cheer up. Exhausted, Li Hanjiang sinks into his chair. Yeah, thanks, I'll rest for a bit. Sure, take your time. He glances at the young man, his thoughts racing. A kind and gentle smile is enough to cheer anyone up. People who are flawlessly polite, like Kim Jun-hyuk, are well liked, but I'm a little different from him. He used to be very fair, but when he realized fairness doesn't bring power, he changed. And now, I know exactly what kind of person you are, Kim Jun-hyuk. A two-faced sociopath who just wants to succeed. He thinks coldly, I can't be as open with him as I was before. He stares at the young man, a shudder running down his spine. Just thinking about what he did to me in the future gives me goosebumps. His gaze suddenly lands on something on Kim Jun-hyuk's desk. It's a thick stack of files. Ah, right, it's Kim Sang-chi's investigation report, Kim Jun-hyuk says. I saw you getting beaten by the chief because you threw these papers around at the main gate like a madman. I picked everything up from the floor, but I don't know if anything is missing. I'm kind of surprised, though, you actually figured out that he broke into that house not to steal, but for something else. He gestures at the files. Li Hanjiang reaches for the files. I'll reinvestigate this, thanks. He's impressed that Kim Jun-hyuk has actually read through the entire report. There's another reason why I want to rewrite Kim Sang-chi's case. He thinks, if the future repeats itself, Kim Sang-chi will be caught 8 years from now. And Kim Jun-hyuk, the main judge who convicts the killer, will become famous for delivering a rare verdict. The verdict in Kim Sang-chi's case gave Kim Jun-hyuk, who had gone astray, a huge opportunity, and that opportunity led to his immediate promotion. He looks at the young man in front of him, his mind filled with memories of the future. Despite his internal turmoil, Li Hanjiang manages a smile as he takes the files. Thank you. Kim Jun-hyuk, I'll cut your career path short, he thinks coldly. On a speeding train, people chatter amongst themselves. What's going on? Did you hear? That crazy judge sentenced the thief, Kim Sang-chi, to death. What? Is he out of his mind? Who is he? Judge Li Hanjiang, he must be insane. Do you have a picture of him? I want to see what he looks like. Li Hanjiang winces at their laughter and whispers, his face burning with shame. He grits his teeth, trying to ignore the curious stares and mocking laughter surrounding him. But he forces himself to calm down and think. I know the way to restore my lost honor from this crisis is surprisingly simple. Kim Sang-chi was arrested for trespassing, but the truth is, he broke in to murder someone. And 8 years from now, a dismembered body will be found preserved in a refrigerator at the home of Kim Sang-chi, who'll be arrested again for murder. Li Hanjiang pictures the seemingly pitiful and hardworking man and murmurs to himself. Kim Sang-chi, I won't let you get away this time, I promise. Thinking back, he must have already killed someone just 2 days before the incident and he must have kept those body parts in the refrigerator. That's what I need to find. This time, I'll make sure Kim Sang-chi is locked up for good, no more innocent victims, he thinks resolutely, and I, from the idiot, can become the hero of this nation, right? Apartment 1415, here it is. Li Hanjiang arrives at Kim Sang-chi's apartment building, but freezes when he sees the figure standing by the entrance. It's Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa? The scene shifts to the South Chuncheong Provincial Court. A man sits at a table in the cafeteria, offering words of comfort. Judge Li Hanjiang must be having a hard time lately. I also felt a lot of pressure when I presided over my first trial. Chief Justice Lim Chon-sik, sitting across from him, cuts him off coldly. I'm trying to eat. Do you want to ruin my appetite? He can handle himself, just don't get your hopes up. We don't have enough judges for this workload. If he resigns, we'll all suffer, you know that, right? It's lunchtime, and he still hasn't come to eat. I think he's reflecting on his actions. Just forgive him, the man pleads. Lim Chon-sik raises an eyebrow. What's this? Did Li Hanjiang say something to you? Ah, what are you talking about? Just this once, the man begs again. Lim Chon-sik sighs, giving in. Alright, that stupid Hanjiang. I'll let him off the hook this time. After lunch, he storms back to the office with the other man, looking for Li Hanjiang. Good afternoon, Chief Justice. Kim Jun-hyuk jumps to his feet, but Lim Chon-sik cuts him off. Where's that idiot Li Hanjiang? Kim Jun-hyuk stammers, he's probably eating at a restaurant. Lim Chon-sik explodes, what? He's eating at a restaurant? What the hell? Call him, now. The other man quickly pulls out his phone to call Li Hanjiang. Suddenly, a ringing phone cuts through the air, startling everyone. What's that?
Where's that coming from?
They track the sound to a drawer, where they find Li Hanjiang's forgotten phone.
He forgot his phone. Lim Chong succeeds. He's supposed to be reflecting on his mistakes. How dare he leave the office without my permission? And he even dared to forget his phone. I won't listen to any excuses from him. Tell him to get ready. He's going to face serious consequences when he gets back.
He storms out of the room, his rage boiling over.
The other man, his hair a mess of dark blue, groans, "Oh man, this guy, what the hell is Li Hanjiang doing?"
Kim Jun-hyuk smiles, "I apologize, I couldn't stop him.
It must have been an emergency, I'll cover for him." Back at Kim Sang-chi's neighborhood, where houses stand shoulder to shoulder.
Park Chun-kwa stares at Li Hanjiang in surprise. "Why did you come here yourself, Your Honor?" Li Hanjiang shrugs, "Just consider it a field investigation." Park Chun-kwa frowns, confused, "But this is Kim Sang-chi's house, the crime scene isn't here, it's near the train station, Your Honor." Li Hanjiang smiles mysteriously, "I came here to find what you couldn't at the crime scene. I came here to inspect the defendant's home after you said there wasn't enough evidence. I've already inspected the crime scene. But there was nothing suspicious," Park Chun-kwa explains.
"Do you have a search warrant?" Li Hanjiang asks.
"Not with me, but I can go get a warrant for the criminal's house if you want, Your Honor."
Li Hanjiang pauses for a moment. "I'm under probation," he says nonchalantly.
Park Chun-kwa looks at him in disbelief. "I heard it was your first trial, right? How are you so invested in a petty case like this?" "There are other, more important cases, Your Honor."
He sighs, exasperated. "You're not doing this under anyone's orders, are you?"
He shakes his head, then continues. "The lawyer said he wouldn't cause as much trouble if this case went smoothly," he says with resignation. "You're already under scrutiny, Judge, stop it."
Li Hanjiang ignores him. "Prosecutor, can you break the door down for me?" Park Chun-kwa panics. What are you doing, Judge?"
"If we don't stop now, we're both going to get into trouble," Li Hanjiang says calmly.
Park Chun-kwa groans, exasperated. "Oh man, why me? Don't drag me into this." Li Hanjiang examines a window. "Is this the bathroom window? I think we can get in through here."
Park Chun-kwa stares at him in disbelief. "No way, Judge, you're actually going to break into his house?
This is insane. It won't budge, should we try pushing it?" Li Hanjiang asks, shaking the window. "No."
Park Chun-kwa cries out, "The window's going to open if you keep shaking it like that."
"So?"
He gives the window a hard shove, then cringes, "Oh God, what am I doing?"
Li Hanjiang smiles triumphantly. "Perfect, he's an accomplice now." "Are you really going in there?" Park Chun-kwa asks, still hesitant. "You already broke the window, why shouldn't I seize this opportunity and go inside?" Li Hanjiang smiles, his tone reassuring. "It's okay, we've come this far."
Park Chun-kwa groans, holding the window open. "I get it, Judge, today's headline is Crazy Judge, tomorrow's will be Crazy Thief Judge."
He mutters to himself.
"Hey, prosecutor, if I find something, you benefit too," Li Hanjiang smiles, his eyes twinkling. Park Chun-kwa just stares at him, utterly confused. Ignoring him, Li Hanjiang quickly climbs through the window. He moves quietly through the dimly lit apartment, trying not to make a sound. He enters the cramped kitchen, his eyes lighting up when he spots a white, three-tier refrigerator. He approaches the fridge and reaches for the handle, a thrill of excitement running through him. There it is! "I can't believe I'm seeing the dismembered body parts of the victim with my own eyes, something I only saw in pictures before." He takes a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves. "Stay strong, Li Hanjiang, it's just a body."
"You think you can still be a judge if you can't even handle this? Open it."
He covers his mouth with his hand and opens the refrigerator door. But instead of finding what he expects, he finds nothing.
"What? Nothing in the fridge?"
He quickly checks the other compartments, but there's nothing there either.
It's just an empty refrigerator. Park Chun-kwa watches from the window, shaking his head. "Hey, Judge, are you checking if Kim Sang-chi was actually hungry or not? Are you planning to make me full and then give me a stomachache? Stop it and get out of there before you get me reported."
Li Hanjiang ignores him, staring at the empty fridge in disbelief.
"Oh no, what should I do?" "If you're done with your business, get out of there now. Don't touch other people's property." Park Chun-kwa's worried voice echoes. "If you keep doing that, the neighbors will report us. It'll be a huge headache, Judge." "Judge, are you even listening to me?"
He calls out, frustrated. Li Hanjiang stands frozen in the kitchen, his face pale. "I'm sure I read in the verdict that he disposed of the victim 2 days before the trespassing incident. Kim Sang-chi must have kept the body in the fridge, there's nowhere else he could have put it." "But there's nothing here."
"Why isn't it here?"
he asks himself, his voice rising in panic.
Damn it! This is driving me crazy. No way. Or maybe he stashed it somewhere temporarily? If it's the latter, I can pinpoint the location with the help of CCTV. He rubs his temples, deep in thought, then turns to leave the kitchen. But the problem is, this neighborhood doesn't have any CCTV cameras. Lost in thought, he stumbles over a red spray can. He loses his balance and bumps into other spray cans, causing a clatter. Hey, come on! What are you doing, Judge? Park Chung-kwa calls out worriedly. The spray cans clang against the floor. Park Chung-kwa catches a glimpse of the label on one of the cans, his eyes widening in surprise. It's a distinctive red spray can. Isn't that lock spray? Why are there so many lock sprays on the table? He wonders aloud. Lee Han-jang stares at the spray cans, his heart pounding. Found it! He yells in his mind. He pulls the tablecloth aside, revealing another refrigerator underneath. Intrigued, Park Chung-kwa peers through the window, watching the scene unfold. Alright, let's finish the Kim Sang-chi case, Lee Han-jung murmurs to himself, a determined glint in his eyes. He slowly reaches for the fridge handle. He opens it, his eyes widening at the contents. A while later, outside the apartment, Park Chung-kwa strokes his chin thoughtfully. Well, this works for me, I'll take credit for this. Park Chung-kwa lives by his principles to a fault, which cost him his chance at success, but when he died in that accident, many people from different walks of life attended his funeral. It means he had more connections than he thought. Lee Han-jang observes him, assessing his potential. He speaks suddenly. Consider this a test run for comparing yourself to prosecutor Kim Sang-jin. As Park Chung-kwa stares at him, confused, Lee Han-jang envisions the woman who had cornered Chairman Jang Tae-sik. She was prosecutor Kim Sang-jin. In Chief Justice Lim Chong-sik's office, the phone rings. Hello? Manager Choi? You're looking for Lee Han-jang? He listens impatiently, his voice rising in frustration. What? Stop stuttering and speak clearly. His eyes widen as he processes the news. What? Kim Sang-chi is a serial killer? What? Lee Han-jang found it himself? He explodes. What? How is that even possible? Get him here right now. Who does he think he is, going around looking for evidence on his own? Shut up. Tell him to resign as a judge and become a detective instead. Bring him to me, now. His angry shouts echo down the hallway. After hanging up, he rubs his temples, trying to calm himself. That crazy bastard. Why did he? At Kim Sang-chi's house, police officers have cordoned off the scene. Curious onlookers gather, but are held back by the police. Meanwhile, Lee Han-jang leans against a wall, retching uncontrollably. Please, don't throw up on the street like that. Park Chung-kwa whines, pinching his nose. I'm going to be sick too. A police officer approaches them awkwardly. Judge, if you do that here. Judge. Park Chung-kwa calls out. Lee Han-jang manages to control his nausea and turns to him. What? Kim Sang-chi is a murderer. How did you know that? Lee Han-jang chuckles. The evidence told me. I'm not saying anything more. I gave you enough evidence. Park Chung-kwa stares at him, bewildered. What? Evidence? But Judge, what else can I say to you now? Lee Han-jang cuts him off. I've done my part. The prosecutor should take care of the rest. And Prosecutor Park Chung-kwa, do you remember what I said before? He looks at him pointedly, the image of the female prosecutor flashing in his mind. If you're going to walk the same path, you better find more people for me, he thinks. The sun is setting, casting long shadows over them. Do you know that woman? He asks suddenly. What? Park Chung-kwa teases him. From what I heard from the gatekeeper, she's pretty. He smirks. Why? Are you trying to contact her because she's beautiful? He raises an eyebrow. So even judges have an interest in women, huh? Lee Han-jang freezes. I can't think of anything to say, he thinks, flustered. Just make a fool of yourself and get out of here. I better get used to this. Back in the office, Lim Chong-sik waves a newspaper in Lee Han-jang's face. Look at this headline. Judge sentences thief to death. This is today's news. What do you have to say for yourself? Lee Han-jang hangs his head, shamefaced. I apologize. But tomorrow, will there be a bigger headline? Lee Han-jang, judge of South Chungcheong Province, captures serial killer, he asks, his tone shifting. How did you discover Kim Sang-chi's true identity? Lee Han-jang beams. Thanks to you, Chief. All thanks to you. Lim Chong-sik nods, pleased. That's right, never forget your gratitude, even until you die. And if you have an interview tomorrow, don't forget to say what you just said. Lee Han-jang straightens his back. I understand, Chief. Anyway, I have good news and bad news, Lim Chong-sik says. Which one do you want to hear first? Give me the bad news first.
Lim Chong-sik explains, because you went out and found the evidence yourself, you can't be the main judge in this trial, you know that, right?
Don't be disappointed.
Yes, I understand, Li Hanjiang replies obediently, this trial is way above my pay grade anyway, he thinks, so you should be the senior judge presiding over this serial killer case.
It's a bit embarrassing, but it makes sense, he muses, so what's the good news?
Lim Chong-sik smiles, I reported this to the Chief Justice, and he was very pleased, he wants to meet you. Li Hanjiang is stunned, his mind racing.
Tell the Chief Justice, if I remember correctly, isn't he Mr. Beck? Wait, did I hear that right?
The scene shifts to a man with a dignified air and silver hair. He looks at the person standing before him, Judge Li Hanjiang, is it?
The man is Beck Ji-suk, a pillar of the judiciary and the Chief Justice.
Li Hanjiang sits beside him, with Lim Chong-sik present as well. I'm in charge of criminal investigations, Lim Chong-sik says, introducing Li Hanjiang to the Chief Justice. He's been very thorough ever since he was a trainee. Li Hanjiang studies the imposing figure, searching his memories, because I'll be going to the Supreme Court in a few months. This South Chungcheong District Court is just a fleeting experience, he thinks, and you're also a renowned judge known for your own unique rulings. This will have a huge impact on my career, he reminds himself. He meets the Chief Justice's sharp gaze. I better make the most of this opportunity, he thinks, I have to use all the information I remember about Chief Justice Beck Ji-suk to answer his questions correctly. Beck Ji-suk speaks, his tone approving, a young judge solving such a big case deserves a reward. What do you want?
Tell me, it can be a vacation, anything.
Li Hanjiang puts on a serious expression and places his hand on his chest, the Kim Sang-chi trial, I want to see it through myself.
Chief Justice Beck Ji-suk studies the young man's determined expression.
Lim Chong-sik stares at him in shock.
Beck Ji-suk takes a sip of his tea, you mean, you want me to promote you?
He sighs, I feel like I should listen to you, but it's going to be difficult. That's not it, Chief Justice, Li Hanjiang replies, I'll remain a trainee judge.
A trainee judge?
Beck Ji-suk echoes, intrigued. He explains, a trial can be divided into a single judge trial and a collegiate trial. In a single judge trial, only one judge gives the verdict, he continues, whereas in a collegiate trial, there's a presiding judge, and then a chief judge and two more judges below, who are in charge of the case.
He strokes his chin thoughtfully, so you're saying, you want to go back to the bar and handle the case yourself?
Note, the bar refers to the area that is restricted by offense for those involved in the trial, such as the judge or the jury.
Li Hanjiang nods resolutely, yes. Please grant me this request.
Beck Ji-suk considers his request, well, that's what a judge should do, you need to work with conviction and persuasion, not by clinging to your position.
Li Hanjiang pumps his fist in the air, triumphant, yes.
It worked. He listens attentively as the Chief Justice continues, Judge Li Hanjiang, you may preside over Kim Sang-chi's trial, and Chief Judge Lim Chong-sik will be the presiding judge. Both Lim Chong-sik and Li Hanjiang straighten their backs, bowing respectfully, thank you for your approval, Beck Ji-suk smiles, his stern expression softening, very well, huh? He chuckles, it's been a long time since I felt this happy, I've been using the excuse of being busy to avoid meeting young judges lately, so I'm delighted to have met such a passionate young judge today. He turns to Lim Chong-sik, Chief Judge Lim, take good care of him. Lim Chong-sik forces a smile, his irritation hidden behind a mask of politeness, of course, leave it to me. The sun begins to set, casting long shadows over the city. The courthouse is bathed in a warm, golden light. Chief Justice Beck Ji-suk gazes out the window at the cityscape below, investigating a project based on gut feelings, huh? He muses, Lim Chong-sik frowns, you mean a gut feeling case? Note, judges often call cases based on gut feeling cases.
Beck Ji-suk nods, that's what I think, find the most complicated case and give it to Li Hanjiang.
Lim Chong-sik's eyes widen, what? Beck Ji-suk doesn't elaborate, his gaze fixed on the city below, Li Hanjiang, he thinks to himself, I like his spirit. Meanwhile, Li Hanjiang rummages through a pile of files at his desk, a triumphant grin spreading across his face, found it.
Beck Ji-suk smiles faintly, let's see what you can do. At the South Chungcheong District Court, surrounded by lush greenery.
Li Hanjiang groans, overwhelmed, this is killing me. Kim Jun-hyuk approaches him, concerned, I heard you're having a hard time, I have to finalize the paperwork for this Kim Sang-chi case, is it giving you a headache? Li Hanjiang collapses onto his desk, surrounded by documents, Kim Jun-hyuk must be relieved to know that I'm being bombarded with this mountain of paperwork, he thinks wearily, no time to rest these days.
Kim Jun-hyuk offers him a coffee, want some coffee? You said it was a murder case?
He asks casually, but this man has a lot of insurance money.
Weren't there 12 insurance policies under that woman's name? He continues, making the coffee.
He hands Li Hanjiang the cup, Li Hanjiang accepts it gratefully, his mind buzzing, he read through everything again?
You really want me to screw this up, don't you? He thinks, no, he forces a smile, thanks. He looks at the young man, his thoughts churning, but what can I do?
I already know everything about this case, a confident smile spreads across his face. Night falls, a white car speeds down a deserted road. Sparks fly as the tires screech against the asphalt. The car accelerates, careening out of control. It crashes into a guardrail. The car flips over the railing and plunges into the water below. Li Hanjiang reads the case summary on his iPad, his brow furrowed. Around 1 a.m., the car was speeding on the highway when it suddenly hit a guardrail and flipped into the water. Park Hook-cheon, the driver, managed to escape through the open window to smoke a cigarette, he continues, but Kim Sun-hee, who was in the passenger seat, died. After the funeral, Kim Sun-hee's family sued her boyfriend, Park Hook-cheon, for murder. Prior to the incident, Kim Sun-hee and Park Hook-cheon had broken up, however, Park Hook-cheon kept visiting Kim Sun-hee, he was basically a stalker. And he kept texting and threatening to kill her if she refused to see him again. He reads the text message, "If we don't see each other again, I'll kill you." The investigation report also stated that there were 12 life insurance policies under Kim Sun-hee's name. And that Park Hook-cheon was the beneficiary, to the tune of 800 billion won. And in that trial, the prosecutor argued that Park Hook-cheon had murdered Kim Sun-hee for the insurance money. While Park Hook-cheon's lawyer insisted that they had reconciled before the incident. And that after Kim Sun-hee's death, Park Hook-cheon had become deeply depressed from the shock. Furthermore, his lawyer argued that the plan to commit murder for insurance money was absurd, considering Park Hook-cheon's wealthy financial status. In the end, the presiding judge of the case sided with Park Hook-cheon and his lawyer, declaring him not guilty. It was a huge uproar back then, many people were shouting absurd, and calling it an injustice for the woman, he continues, remembering the outrage, and Li Hanjiang thought that the case was over. But a year later, the case took a new turn, with the emergence of new evidence that turned the world upside down. He thinks grimly, no wonder Chief Justice Lee So-suk, who always wanted him to stand before the Supreme Court, was furious. I remember this case clearly, and the outcome is about to be revealed. He parks his car by the side of the road, deep in thought. But what worries me now isn't just finding a clean solution to this case, the solution also has to satisfy Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk. The reason Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk is testing me like this is definitely to evaluate me, he continues, his resolve hardening, and whether he raises me like a hunting dog or a pet dog. Either way, I'll make Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk take notice and enter his world. He imagines the Chief Justice holding a small dog in his arms. Can you be a good hunting dog? He asks the animal. His phone rings, snapping him out of his thoughts. Yes, Chief, it's me, he answers. Are you at the scene, Li Hanjiang? Lim Chon-sik asks, yes, since this case is so complicated, I thought I should take a look at the scene myself. Lim Chon-sik sighs, why do I always feel nervous talking to you, as if there's a time bomb ticking away? I apologize, Li Hanjiang replies calmly, don't worry too much, Chief, I'm doing fine. Lim Chon-sik's voice booms through the phone, doing fine is the bare minimum. But you're making me anxious. And show me your results before you step into the courtroom. I'll check if anything is missing. Li Hanjiang pulls the phone away from his ear. This isn't like your first trial, so don't get too greedy, understand? Li Hanjiang forces a smile, yes, Chief, thank you, I understand. The line goes dead. He stares at the contact name he's saved for the chief, Bandit, he murmurs, idiot, in my past life, he was a scary man, always angry, and he still is, huh? I don't even feel guilty for ignoring his feelings in the past, he thinks, hey, you won't have a second chance to stand in this courtroom, to be judged by Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk again. So this time, let's go all out. His confident expression falters, but what should I do now? Making a dramatic reveal is important, but right now, I don't even know what to do, he groans, running his hand through his hair in frustration. A yellow car pulls up beside him. A pair of familiar sneakers step out of the car. It's a woman in a red tracksuit, carrying a bag. She approaches him, hey, mister. Are you a detective? She peers at him curiously from behind her glasses. Li Hanjiang blinks, surprised, a detective? She takes a step closer, you're a detective, right? He remains silent, still trying to process the situation. He studies her face, trying to place her, who is this woman? He wonders, why is she suddenly asking me questions? I think I've seen her somewhere before. Sensing his wariness. She smiles and hands him a business card, don't get me wrong, I've never met you before, I'm Song Nagyan, a reporter for the Zin Daily. Song Nagyan, Li Hanjiang repeats the name, studying the card. She laughs awkwardly, I know detectives don't like reporters very much, so. He stares at her, a wave of recognition washing over him, he knows where he's seen her before. In his past life, as a judge, he was the legal team leader for the Zim Daily's social affairs department. He hadn't seen her often, but they were on good terms. She was a very smart woman back then, he remembers, a career-driven type. He frowns, perplexed, but why did she look so clueless back then? Wait a minute, I think reporter Song Najan's father was involved in something before, he wonders, but why is she here? Despite his curiosity, he offers her a polite smile. I'm Lee Han Jiang. She cuts to the chase. Are you here because of the Kim Sun-hee case? Lee Han Jiang stares at her, stunned. Kim Sun-hee? He thinks she's Park Hook-cheon's girlfriend. She continues, sensing his confusion. But your business card says you're a financial reporter, he asks, studying the card again. Why are you interested in a criminal case? I know. Why did I give you my business card? She groans, smacking her forehead. Lee Han Jiang sighs inwardly. She's the same airhead, but with a completely different attitude. She continues, flustered, yes, I'm a financial reporter. My friend's death was so tragic and unfair. He stares at her in surprise. Reporter Song Nagyan was friends with Kim Sun-hee? I was also curious about the police investigation report, she continues, so whenever I have time, I come to the scene to see if there's anything I can find. She looks at him pleadingly. I was just curious, but could you maybe tell me how the investigation is going? I promise I'll keep it a secret. He smiles, relieved. I think I'm better suited for working in the field than in the office, he thinks. Finally, a way to untangle this case. He strokes his chin thoughtfully, studying her. You know, there haven't been any new discoveries yet, he says, but in the future, things might be different if you help me. Me? I just need to help you? She asks, bewildered. Do you know any online news companies? Of course I do. I know a few places. He explains, even if it's a small company, I want an article about Kim Sun-hee published online. Sure, no problem. I can ask someone I know to do it, she agrees easily. He hesitates for a moment, then asks, this is a bit delicate, but, are you close to Kim Sun-hee's family? At the South Chungcheong Provincial Court. A group of prosecutors and judges chat and laugh loudly in the hallway. Lee Han Jiang approaches them, a weary sigh escaping his lips. Why are they together again? They spot him and call out teasingly, Hey, Lee Han Jiang. You're here. I heard you got the gut feeling case, I'm so excited. What if he freaks out and runs away? He looks at them, exasperated. How did these people become judges? A chubby judge with an angry face approaches him. Hey, Lee Han Jiang. Are you laughing at me? He glares at Lee Han Jiang, his voice dripping with malice. Lee Han Jiang stares at him, speechless. How can this guy even say that? The chubby judge is Lee Chung-gun, a judge who was about to be kicked out of his sponsored position. When I was younger, I used to be scared of being threatened like this, he thinks, but I'm so much older than these guys, even before I died. He turns to the judge, his voice calm and steady. Learn to speak properly. We're people who wear judges' robes. Lee Chung-gun stares at him, stunned. What? Don't you know it's our duty to uphold dignity? He continues, his gaze unwavering, and it's a bit embarrassing to say this, but it seems like you have none. Lee Chung-gun explodes in rage. What? You bastard. I look like someone without dignity? You still haven't learned anything about this society. He grabs Lee Han Jiang's arm as he turns to leave. Who did you learn that from, huh? You dog. He glares at Lee Han Jiang, his eyes filled with fury. What did you just say? He demands. Lee Han Jiang smiles calmly. You don't know it's our duty to uphold dignity? It's a bit embarrassing to have to say it, but it seems like you have none. Lee Han Jiang's words infuriate Lee Chung-gun. What? You bastard. I look like someone without dignity? You haven't learned a damn thing about how this world works. Who taught you to talk like that, huh? You little shit. He learned it from me. A cold voice cuts through the air, silencing everyone. Lim Chon-sik strides towards them, his face grim. He fixes Lee Chung-gun with a chilling stare. He's right, maintain your dignity, and lose some weight. Lee Chung-gun shrinks back, suddenly meek. Why yes, sir. Lim Chon-sik walks away with Lee Han Jiang, leaving the chubby judge fuming. How's the scene? Find anything? I think the police missed something during their investigation. Really? Lim Chon-sik asks, his interest piqued. Lee Chung-gun watches them walk away, his teeth clenched in jealousy. Inside the main hall of the courthouse, with its company logo and empty rows of seats, Kim Jun-hyuk stands by the vending machine. He turns to Lee Chung-gun, who's slumped dejectedly in a chair. Want some soda? Yeah, get me a cold one. Lee Chung-gun chews on his shirt sleeve, fuming as he remembers Lee Han-jang's confident words, especially the part about the police missing something during their investigation. That bastard's getting too cocky.
What should I do to him? Maybe, kill him?
He mutters to himself, his anger growing.
Kim Jun-hyuk interjects smoothly, I think he's just stressed after the Kim Sang-chi case. Is he the only one who can take on the gut feeling case? Lee Chung-gun demands, frustrated, why did they hand everything over to that bastard?
Kim Jun-hyuk hands him the cold soda. It could be because he's the one the Chief Justice personally requested. He smiles. Judge Lee Han-jang is a good person to be close to, although his way of talking can be a bit blunt. Lee Chung-gun takes a large gulp of his soda. Enough. I don't care about that guy. Kim Jun-hyuk doesn't press further, but his expression is unreadable. Back in Lee Han-jang's office, the rhythmic clicking of keyboard keys fills the air. Lee Han-jang works diligently, reviewing the case details on his computer. Kim Jun-hyuk enters. So you were working? He asks, are you busy? Lee Han-jang looks up, his eyes still glued to the screen. It's okay, come in. Kim Jun-hyuk approaches his desk. Hey, Judge Lee Chung-gun is really angry, he says casually. You should apologize to him next time. Lee Han-jang keeps typing. Oh, thanks for your concern. He places a can of cold soda on Lee Han-jang's desk. But I heard you saw something? He asks casually, what was it? Lee Han-jang glances at him, his eyes narrowed. I met the victim's friend, that's all. He lies smoothly. I was just messing with Lee Chung-gun back there. His phone rings. He checks the caller ID, there it is. He answers the call, hello? Lee Han-jang speaking, a woman's voice greets him, that article you requested is up. You should check it out. Thanks for your hard work. You're fast. He opens the article on his computer, boyfriend kills girlfriend for 800 million won insurance money. Song Najan's voice is hesitant, but do you think this will be a big deal? I don't think anyone will be interested, Lee Han-jung assures her, just wait and see. Are you sure it's okay to be this provocative, detective? Sometimes you need to be provocative to uncover the truth. He continues talking, unaware that Kim Jun-hyuk has been watching him intently. By the way, there's something else I want to ask you, when can you meet me? He asks Song Nagyan. I'm free 2 days from now. You can do it, right? Lee Han-jang asks, just do what you think is right. They hang up. Kim Jun-hyuk approaches him, his curiosity piqued. Is that the victim's friend you met yesterday? What do you mean by provocative? Lee Han-jang fixes Kim Jun-hyuk with a knowing gaze. You want me to tell you? He asks silently. Kim Jun-hyuk doesn't reply, his eyes fixed on him. Lee Han-jang smiles enigmatically. Well, it's the most effective way to stab someone in the back is to give them undeniable facts, he thinks to himself. 2 days later, oh, Lee Han-jang. I just arrived in front of your apartment building. Yeah, I'll be right there. Song Nagyan hangs up and sighs, looking up at the building. A few days later, at the courthouse, a throng of reporters bombard Lim Chon-sik with questions. I heard the investigation began late last night. Is the judge presiding over this trial the same one who was in the Kim Sang-chi case? Lee Han-jang's prediction was right. This case is a godsend for small and medium-sized media companies. Kim Sun-hee's insurance murder case will be big news. He thinks, those media vultures, when they see such a juicy prey, they'll spread it with even more sensational headlines. Lim Chon-sik manages to escape the reporters and hurries down the hallway, grumbling to himself, because of him, my reputation is in tatters. He knocks on the Chief Justice's door. Chief Judge, reporting for duty. Baek Ji-suk gestures for him to sit. Have a seat, he asks, how are things going? Judge Lee Han-jang says he has a lead. Lim Chon-sik replies, I think he found a loophole when he re-examined the police investigation report from the beginning. Is that so? Baek Ji-suk asks, intrigued, and who leaked the article? Was it Lee Han-jang, or did you do it? Lim Chon-sik stammers, flustered. I apologize, but I immediately assumed it was the press, he says sheepishly. I should have approached and responded right from the start, but I didn't check thoroughly. Baek Ji-suk smiles faintly. How long has it been since we've had a major press conference? Lim Chon-sik's eyes widen. What? It's already gotten this noisy, we might as well make it even noisier. Contact the major media companies, he orders, tell them there's a hot case here. Lee Han-jang said he was confident, let's give him some support. The influence of Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk is truly immense, Lim Chon-sik thinks, impressed. The news of Kim Sun-hee's death becomes a national sensation, dominating the headlines of major media companies. The media portrays Park Hook-cheon as a ruthless murderer who wanted to claim the insurance money. The public, enraged by Park Hook-cheon's actions, is furious with the verdict of the first trial. They demand the death penalty and are curious to see who will preside over the new trial. The previous judge, due to his lack of experience, couldn't overcome the public pressure while presiding over this case. The public's toxic interest will shift to the judge who presides this time. Li Hanjiang thinks to himself, but I'm a judge with 20 years of experience. I'm not worried about a trial like this anymore. Kim Jun-hyuk pats him on the shoulder reassuringly. It'll be okay, relax, Hanjiang. Li Hanjiang flinches. Every time I hear this guy's voice, I get goosebumps, he thinks, disgusted. I guess it's because I've seen his true colors. I've heard his voice for so long, but I still can't get used to it. It's just a calm, friendly voice, but every time I hear it, I get goosebumps. In the courthouse bathroom, Li Hanjiang stands before the mirror, checking his appearance. The reporter will be at the trial today. He checks his phone. Reporter Song Nagyan will play a crucial role in today's trial, he thinks, but since she's gone to see his family, I still haven't been able to contact her. But no need to worry, if you can't reach me, it means you succeeded in your mission. He remembers her determination. She went through a lot to get here. But she must have been shocked to discover the unexpected truth. He thinks grimly, it's only a matter of time before. Lim Chon-sik's voice echoes down the hallway. There are a lot of reporters here. It's embarrassing. The prosecutor and the lawyer are already exhausted. He says, his voice frantic, you can be the first to call me. Don't believe what they say, and don't be suspicious. If you really don't understand what's going on, stop the trial and ask for an easier case next time, okay? Don't worry, we'll figure it out together later. Li Hanjiang nods, I understand. It's only a matter of time before this is all over. He smiles confidently. The trial begins. All rise. A voice announces as Li Hanjiang enters the courtroom, please rise. Court is now in session. The prosecutor begins his opening statement, holding a file folder. Kim Sun-hee purchased several insurance policies 3 months before the incident, and these life insurance policies designated Park Hook-cheon, the victim's ex-boyfriend and non-relative, as the beneficiary. And the issue is, they broke up 6 months ago, and Kim Sun-hee's family had no knowledge of her purchasing these insurance policies. He turns to a woman with orange hair. Witness, what's your relationship with Kim Sun-hee? I heard you lived near Kim Sun-hee's house for a long time, at the Korean restaurant, is that right? I was her cousin, she replies. After my parents passed away, they raised me as their own. People often said Sun-hee and I look like sisters because we resembled each other a lot. If you two were close cousins, then you must have shared many personal details about your lives, right? The prosecutor asks, yes, I don't think there were any secrets between us. So, you knew that Kim Sun-hee broke up with the defendant about 6 months ago? Yes, I did, the witness nods. I also knew that she was being stalked and threatened by the defendant after they broke up. She told me that she was scared sometimes, with the constant knocking and the threatening text messages. Did you hear that Kim Sun-hee started seeing the defendant again 3 months ago? He asks. Yes, I did, the witness replies. Even witness Kim Jae-rang, Kim Sun-hee's sworn sister, testified that they were seeing each other again. He continues, so, did Kim Sun-hee really purchase multiple insurance policies without telling her family after getting back together with the defendant? Kim Sun-hee had a close relationship with her parents, yet a total of 12 life insurance policies were registered under Park Hook-cheon's name, not her family. He concludes, this was a premeditated traffic accident intended to seize Kim Sun-hee's assets. I'm done with my argument. The prosecutor's argument for the victim is over, a voice announces, now, onto the questioning, let the cross-examination begin. Park Hook-cheon's lawyer stands up and addresses the witness, witness, did you see Kim Sun-hee every day? And no, did you talk to her on the phone every day? No, I didn't. As the lawyer continues his questioning, Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk and Lim Chon-sik enter the courtroom from a side door. Baek Ji-suk takes his seat. Isn't that a lawyer from Kim Baek law firm? The defendant must be loaded. The lawyer addresses the witness, you said there were no secrets between you and the victim. Did Kim Sun-hee tell you how many people she knew, where she went on dates, or whether she had a boyfriend? Did she tell you every detail of her personal life? He presses. The prosecutor slams his hand on the table and stands up. Your Honor, I object. This lawyer is deliberately pressuring the witness to distort her testimony. Li Hanjiang waves his hand dismissively, continue questioning. The prosecutor sits down, fuming. Did you ever witness Kim Sun-hee suffering from stalking after breaking up with Park Hook-cheon? The lawyer presses, no. Kim Sun-hee's family sits in the gallery, weeping uncontrollably. Your Honor, the threatening text messages that the victim received were just words that people often say after a breakup, the lawyer argues. The witness thinks she was closest to Kim Sun-hee, but she's mistaken. The prosecutor slams his fist on the table again, Counselor, please refrain from making speculative remarks. The lawyer turns to Park Hook-cheon, the defendant lost his lover in that accident, and the shock induced a panic disorder. You're currently receiving psychological treatment, correct?
Yes, Park Hook-cheon replies, nodding his head. You're self-employed, right? What's your monthly income? About 15 million won a month.
I can fully understand the bereaved family's grief, however, their insistent claim that Park Hook-cheon killed Kim Sun-hee to claim the insurance money is nothing but a lie with no concrete evidence. His monthly income is about 15 million won, and he doesn't even have any debt. To say that he killed his lover to embezzle her funds, it's quite absurd. He gestures towards Park Hook-cheon, his tone sympathetic. The audience murmurs amongst themselves, don't tell me they sued him because he has mental issues. Well, looking at that judge, I think he'll be bribed anyway.
I know, right? But is it reasonable to register your lover as the beneficiary for life insurance instead of your family? There's no concrete evidence, but I don't trust a word he says. Lim Chong-sik watches the tense proceedings, a nervous sigh escaping his lips. Baek Ji-suk glances at him, what's wrong? Nervous? Lee Han-jang looks like he's struggling under all that pressure. I'm worried he'll make a mistake with the verdict, he confesses. Baek Ji-suk smiles faintly, you look more worried than he does. Well, if Lee Han-jang is a judge who can't even overcome this type of trial, he might as well leave the profession, he continues, studying Lee Han-jang's expression, and look at his face, instead of crumbling under the pressure of public opinion. Don't you see a bit of defiance there? The audience continues to chatter amongst themselves, hey, is this really effective? If you're going to testify like that, why are you even here as a witness? Lee Han-jang slams his gavel, silencing the courtroom. Please observe proper court decorum for a smooth trial. Order in the court. He turns to the witness, his voice stern, witness, do you know when the defendant and Kim Sun-hee started dating? I think, about 3 years ago? She replies hesitantly, did the three of you ever meet? No, never, he continues his questioning, so you don't even know the defendant's personality or his usual behavior? Do you know why they broke up? The witness looks down, her voice subdued, I don't know. Lee Han-jang sighs, frustrated. You don't know why they broke up? He asks incredulously, even though you said you're like a sister to the victim and that there were no secrets between you two? You don't even know his personality? You never met the victim's boyfriend for 3 years? He raises an eyebrow, this is sisterhood? He fixes her with a sharp stare, why did you come here to testify for the prosecution? The audience murmurs in disapproval, that judge is talking nonsense again. Did he just attack the witness? He's such an incompetent fool. He just attacked the witness. That's so unprofessional. Ignoring their reactions, Lee Han-jang turns to the defendant, are you sure you didn't know that Kim Sun-hee had insurance money? Park Hook-cheon clutches his head, sobbing, I didn't know. He wails, if I had known, I would have stopped her. Then why do you think Kim Sun-hee registered you as the beneficiary for her life insurance? Park Hook-cheon shakes his head frantically, I don't know. I really don't. Why did you two break up? He wipes away tears, I don't know. He says miserably, she suddenly asked for a breakup, without any reason, it was so hard back then. So you two met again 3 months later because you threatened her? Lee Han-jang continues, his gaze piercing, did that make you two happy again? Is there anyone who can prove that you two met again? No, Park Hook-cheon says quickly, meeting Sun-hee again after the breakup was embarrassing, so she asked me to keep it quiet back then, and I did, and we preferred traveling alone, rather than with others. Have you met Kim Ji-ae-rang, Kim Sun-hee's sworn sister? I've heard she's like a sister to her, but I've never met her. Lee Han-jang decides to wrap things up, alright, he says coldly, finally, I want to ask. Did the defendant deliberately cause the accident to claim the life insurance money? Park Hook-cheon's lawyer jumps up, outraged, Your Honor. Park Hook-cheon cries harder, burying his face in his hands, it was just an accident. He sobs, we had a little to drink on the way back. He wails pitifully, I shouldn't have driven. And Sun-hee, sob. His lawyer jumps in, his voice booming. Park Hook-cheon is currently under psychological and physical investigation after the trauma of the incident. Please refrain from saying things that might trigger him, Your Honor. The victim's father explodes, don't lie. He shouts, struggling against the police officers restraining him, tell the truth, you punk. Sun-hee would never go back to a guy like you. My daughter. He screams, his voice filled with grief and rage, let me go. Let me go. This can't end like this. I have to kill that bastard. The audience erupts in chaos, that's right. Give him the death penalty. Can't you do your job properly, Judge? Lee Han-jang remains calm, his voice authoritative, remove anyone causing a disturbance from the courtroom, immediately. Lee Chung-gun watches the pandemonium with glee, oh man, that Lee Han-jang, his true colors are finally showing. He sneers. He's been making the victim's family suffer from the start. He continues, laughing cruelly, he's such a heartless bastard. Ha ha ha.
Li Hanjiang looks at the obnoxious judge and the agitated crowd, his thoughts churning. Ugh, why did he have to come here?
He sighs inwardly, this delay is inconvenient.
I won't forgive that guy, Park Hook-cheon, he thinks, his gaze hardening. I won't forgive you. The victim's father is dragged out of the courtroom, just as Song Nagyan enters. Li Hanjiang sighs in relief. You finally made it.
Song Nagyan stares at the judge, her eyes widening in surprise. What? You're the judge? Park Hook-cheon's lawyer resumes his argument.
Your Honor, with all due respect for life. He continues, his voice regaining its calm and composure. Everyone understands the grief and anger surrounding the death of a young woman with a bright future. However, all allegations against the defendant are highly questionable. He looks at the judge, his gaze unwavering.
Park Hook-cheon has stated that even if he is acquitted, he has no intention of suing Kim Sun-hee's family for false accusations.
Park Hook-cheon is also experiencing loss, just like the victim's family. He finishes, one last thing I want to say, Your Honor. Save it for the final trial. Li Hanjiang cuts him off. This trial is still ongoing.
The lawyer nods reluctantly. Why yes, sir.
Li Hanjiang looks at the witness, who's comforting the victim's mother. He speaks suddenly, his voice loud and clear, startling everyone in the courtroom.
Witness from the victim's family, do you have anything else to say? The cousin stares at him, confused. Me? Song Nagyan steps forward confidently, silencing the murmurs of surprise.
Your Honor, I am Song Nagyan, a longtime close friend of the victim, Kim Sun-hee, she states, her voice strong and steady. I also know her family very well. I am here to testify for the victim. Everyone stares at her, including the stunned cousin.
Reporter Song Nagyan steps forward to the witness stand and says, I want to present some evidence. Judge Li Hanjiang listens intently and asks, is it directly related to this case?
Yes, it is, Song Nagyan confirms as she takes out a folder.
The judge turns to the prosecutor, seeking his opinion. Do you have any objections?
Before the prosecutor can respond, someone slams their hand on the table and shouts.
Objection, Your Honor. I object to the legality of this unverified evidence.
The defendant's lawyer hurriedly rises to his feet.
Witness Song Nagyan, irritated by the lawyer's dismissal of her evidence, slams the folder on the table.
Li Hanjiang surveys the courtroom with a stern gaze.
To ascertain the truth, let's examine the evidence presented by the witness. The defendant, Park Hook-cheon, appears anxious and uneasy.
He glances nervously at Judge Li Hanjiang, who is engrossed in the folder received from the new witness.
Below, in the witness area, reporter Song Nagyan sits with a determined and somewhat angry look on her face. Witness, what are these documents? Hanjiang asks, turning towards her. These are Kim Sun-hee's insurance registration and securities documents from when she applied for life insurance, Song Nagyan explains clearly. Hearing this, the young female witness from earlier seems slightly apprehensive. And this is the significant evidence?
3 months ago, I accompanied Kim Sun-hee to register for life insurance. The beneficiary listed was Park Hook-cheon.
The prosecutor's investigation report states there were no irregularities in the insurance application. What can you prove with this?
The judge inquires.
Song Nagyan rises to her feet and speaks with conviction.
I found Kim Sun-hee's insurance and securities registration documents at Kim Jae-rang's house.
Is that true? Judge Hanjiang questions. Yes, I went to Kim Jae-rang's house and brought them here myself. The judge turns to Kim Jae-rang. Kim Jae-rang, were these documents at your house? Kim Jae-rang, flustered by the direct question, stammers.
Well, my sister, she left them at my house, and my parents know about it.
Liar. Song Nagyan's outraged cry echoes throughout the courtroom.
Except for the signature, the handwriting on the insurance and securities documents isn't Kim Sun-hee's. The handwriting on the insurance documents belongs to Kim Jae-rang.
Song Nagyan's accusation leaves the courtroom stunned. Even Kim Sun-hee's mother, sitting beside Kim Jae-rang, looks at her with disbelief.
Song Nagyan continues, her voice filled with conviction.
Kim Jae-rang registered the insurance for Kim Sun-hee, and she wrote Park Hook-cheon's name as the beneficiary.
Overwhelmed by the revelation, Kim Sun-hee's mother collapses onto her chair.
Song Nagyan reflects on her visit to Kim Jae-rang's house a few days prior. Jae-rang, it's been a while, Nagyan, so good to see you. This is our first time meeting up like this, right? Song Nagyan smiles as she enters the house.
Yes, it is. Make yourself comfortable. I'll get us some fruit.
Song Nagyan watches Kim Jae-rang head towards the kitchen. Thank you.
Sitting in the living room, she notices a photo album peeking out from under the bed.
Huh, that's her. I wonder if there are pictures of Sun-hee.
She picks up the album and flips through the pages, whispering to herself. Sun-hee, you look so young with long hair. You and Jae-rang look like real sisters. I miss you so much.
Suddenly, she stops, startled by a particular photograph. What's this? It's Ji Rang and Bak Hook-chun, why are they being so affectionate? Song Nagyan stares at the picture in shock. Back in the courtroom, Judge Lee Han-jung slams his hand on the table. What is the meaning of this relationship? Kim Ji-rang remains silent, her head bowed. Bak Hook-chun cries out, enough. The scene flashes back to a time when the three of them were still close. Kim Sun-hee, Bak Hook-chun, and Kim Ji-rang often spent time together, laughing and enjoying each other's company. In his previous life, the truth was revealed by a twist of fate, a confession from an insurance company employee, after Han Zhang had declared Bak Hook-chun innocent. 2 years before the incident, Kim Sun-hee went on a trip with Bak Hook-chun, feeling sorry for Kim Ji-rang, who was feeling lonely. She invited her along. I'm going on a trip with my boyfriend. Come with us. It'll be fun, and you won't be lonely anymore. Their frequent trips together, however, allowed something sinister to bloom between them. Kim Ji-rang and Bak Hook-chun developed feelings for each other, even though they were with Kim Sun-hee. And during those trips, those vacations, they gave in to their desires and started an affair. To make matters worse, Kim Ji-rang became pregnant with Bak Hook-chun's child. Ji-rang demanded that Bak Hook-chun break up with Kim Sun-hee. She even lied to Sun-hee, telling her that she saw Hook-chun with another woman. Bak Hook-chun broke up with Kim Sun-hee, the lie remaining unexposed, and his relationship with Kim Ji-rang seemed to flourish. Sun-hee wants her share of the profits now. What should we do? Don't worry, I have a plan. With Kim Sun-hee demanding her share after the breakup, they decided to get rid of her. Bak Hook-chun bombarded Kim Sun-hee with messages urging her to get back together, wearing her down emotionally. At the same time, Kim Ji-rang suggested that Kim Sun-hee get life insurance. Trusting her friend completely, Kim Sun-hee signed the application without a second thought. As Kim Sun-hee signed those documents, Ji-rang never imagined she'd be caught for illegal insurance fraud. Thank you for taking care of me, Ji-rang. Back then, Kim Sun-hee was nothing but grateful. Back in the courtroom, Judge Lee Han-jang slams the file on his desk, his face contorted with anger. Bak Hook-chun, you claimed it was a drunk driving accident. This was premeditated murder for insurance money. He slams the file on the table again, his voice booming. Prosecutor, you need to amend this indictment. The prosecutor hurries forward to collect the file. He needs to reveal everything for this case to truly end, Han-jang thinks to himself. He looks at the prosecutor. Is the investigation into these insurance accidents proving too complex? This case has changed, it will be transferred to a trial court, another judge will be presiding. Alright, that's all for today, we'll continue next week. Judge Han-jang rises, adjourning the trial amidst gasps and excited chatter. Wow, that was intense, I thought I was watching a movie. People were even clapping. Did you see the look on that judge's face? People exit the courtroom, buzzing with excitement, even the large man is stunned. Damn it. I was clapping unconsciously. How embarrassing. The courtroom empties, except for one figure. Judge Lee Han-jang is surprised to see him still sitting there. It's Kim Jun-hyuk. Lee Han-jang stares at him, his mind racing. You're here too, Kim Jun-hyuk? Night falls on a district crowded with towering buildings, their cold, imposing structures casting long shadows. What's taking so long? It won't open? Hurry up. We don't have much time. Almost there. Whispered voices cut through the darkness of a room. Got it. This place is loaded. What are all these papers? Let me see. We don't have time. Just stuff everything in the bag. Two figures work quickly, emptying the contents of a safe into their bags. Come on, let's go. Security will be here soon. We're dead if we get caught. Who uses the elevator? The emergency stairs are faster. The thieves disappear, leaving the empty safe behind. Back at the Central District Court. Song Nagyan bows her head. Thank you for revealing the truth. Han Zhang waves his hand dismissively. Don't mention it, it was your hard work that made this possible. Wait a minute. What is it? Song Nagyan frowns slightly. You're a judge, not a detective. Well, I never said I was a detective. His response leaves her speechless for a moment. I guess you're right. But how did you know Kim Ji-rang had the evidence at her house? Han Zhang smiles. I'll tell you when you become a crime reporter. What? Song Nagyan's jaw drops. She clutches her head, overwhelmed. No way. As a reporter, I feel compelled to uncover the truth, but I don't want to be involved in cases like this anymore. Never again. Never. Her phone suddenly rings. Lee Han-jang glances at the caller ID and answers with a cheerful smile. Sunhee's mother has woken up. I have to go now. Let's meet again sometime, judge. Han Zhang watches her go, a hint of amusement in his eyes. That's not the way out, and never do drugs. How can someone that clueless be a crime reporter? She can't be the same sharp, focused Song Nagyan I once knew. Lost in thought, Han Zhang turns and walks away. Yes, Chief, I'm here. Chief Lim Chong's 6 voice booms through the phone, come to the Chief Justice's office, now. Yes, sir, right away. Han Zhang hangs up, still puzzled, but how could Song Nagyan become a crime reporter? I feel like I remember something, ugh, I can't place it, I'll deal with that later, time to face the Chief Justice. He quickly makes his way to the office of Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk. Inside the office, Baek Ji-suk and Chief Lim are deep in conversation. Judge Lee didn't even seem fazed in court today, is he always like that? Baek Ji-suk asks, a hint of amusement in his voice. No, sir, Judge Lee is a bit different from usual. I may not have graduated from a prestigious university, but my drive is unmatched. I never thought someone with his level of motivation could exist. Chief Lim responds, a thoughtful look on his face. Interesting, a flower fueled by sheer willpower, and stop judging Han Zhang based on his past. Focus on what he can become, what potential he holds. Chief Lim nods, absorbing the Chief Justice's words, yes, sir, understood. Sometimes, guidance from a senior is more valuable than anything, that might be what Han Zhang needs most right now, could you be that mentor for him? Young men need protection from the harsh storms of life. Without proper shelter, a seedling like him could wither away, Chief Lim nods solemnly, yes, sir, I will. Outside, in the hallway, the gossip continues, didn't you see Judge Lee today? Amazing. The way he ended that trial. Even the Chief Justice himself came down, he must have done really well. I knew it. Lee is going places. Oh, Judge Han Zhang. The staff members stop short, surprised to see Han Zhang himself. They give him a thumbs up, grinning, Judge Lee, you were amazing today. I had no idea you had it in you. Suddenly, a hand clamps down on Han Zhang's arm. It's the obnoxious Lee Chung-gun, well, Lee Han Zhang. Feeling lucky today, are we? That's hardly news, Han Zhang shrugs him off, his tone flat, Gun glares at him, what was that? You should be thanking me with a little more enthusiasm, what's with the attitude? This is me, don't expect me to be some kind, respectful junior, Han Zhang smiles coldly, Gun falters for a moment, well, aren't you a piece of work? Where do you think you're going? To the Chief Justice's office to beg for scraps? He mocks Han Zhang, mimicking a pitiful voice, oh, Chief Justice, please give me a good case. Han Zhang remains calm, a smirk playing on his lips, I'll be on my way then, and if I was begging for scraps, I might end up round like you. Han Zhang's jab hits a nerve, Gun's face contorts with rage, you little. Unbelievable. I can't stand it anymore. This is how a junior treats his senior who only has his best interests at heart. You're no judge, you piece of, you're nothing but dirt under my shoes. I don't know how even Chief Lim puts up with you. There are plenty of colleagues who support me more than you little punk. If you want to last long as a judge, you better watch your step. Han Zhang walks away, leaving Gun ranting and raving. Ignoring the spectacle Gun is making, Han Zhang sighs and runs a hand through his hair. That idiot, he'll get his just desserts eventually, especially with what's coming to him, I wonder when it'll happen, he takes out his phone and dials a number, hello? Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa? A series of crashes and screams erupts from the other end of the line, what the? On the other end of the call, a man with a shaved head cries out as he's kicked in the face. Hello? Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa answers, his voice calm amidst the chaos, help me. Please. It's Judge Lee, I see you're busy. I am, what is it? Park Chun-kwa replies, his tone clipped. I'm sorry. My head is going to explode. The desperate cries of the assaulted man continue. Back in the Chief Justice's office. You did well today, Baek Ji-suk praises. Thank you, sir, it was thanks to you and the chief, Han Zhang replies respectfully. Suddenly, Baek Ji-suk places a thick file on his desk. He smiles at Han Zhang, a little something for a job well done. These cases are going to the High Court, they'll be under the Chief Justice's jurisdiction, by the time they've been through the first and second trials. He pauses, why don't you take a look? Consider it a chance to hone your skills. Baek Ji-suk continues, his voice laced with meaning, that way, I can proudly say I nurtured you here at the Central District Court. Han Zhang opens the file, his eyes scanning the details of the cases. So this is his way of keeping me close. I'm not complaining, but this feels a little fast. As if sensing Han Zhang's hesitation, Baek Ji-suk adds, don't feel pressured, take your time. Thank you, sir, Han Zhang closes the file, Chief Justice. I appreciate the offer, but I'd like to gain a bit more experience first. Baek Ji-suk's face hardens, are you refusing my helping hand? Chief Lim, beads of sweat forming on his brow, stares at Han Zhang in disbelief. What is he doing? Han Zhang's eyes narrow as he remembers the events of his past life.
Baek Ji-suk would indeed become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, just as he had in Han Zhang's previous life. But, after reaching the pinnacle of his career, he would be forced to leave the Supreme Court, his legacy tarnished, unable to weather the storms brewing within the judiciary. If I accept his offer now, I could get caught in the crossfire. I need to be more prepared. Despite his inner turmoil, Han Zhang's voice remains steady. I apologize if I offended you. I simply don't possess the necessary skills or experience yet. However, once you become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, I will be your most valuable asset. Baek Ji-suk stares at him, stunned. What? Chief Justice? Lim Chong-sik echoes, his eyes fixed on Han Zhang. I might have to be his lapdog for now, but I'll make sure he owes me, big time.
Han Zhang's expression remains confident, determined. You'll be my most valuable asset once I'm Chief Justice? Baek Ji-suk repeats, a note of disbelief in his voice. You intend to help me become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? Baek Ji-suk stares at him. He's far more ambitious than his appearance suggests. He's certainly different from the others, don't you agree, Chief Lim? He asks, a slow smile spreading across his face. He's very articulate, Chief Lim stammers, trying to please. The three men burst into laughter, the sound echoing strangely in the tense atmosphere. Baek Ji-suk's gaze settles on Han Zhang. So, you don't want anything right now? Actually, I'd like some time off, Han Zhang says. Time off? Baek Ji-suk raises an eyebrow. The setting sun casts a warm glow over the cityscape. On a rooftop, Han Zhang sits slumped over, muttering to himself, I'm going crazy. How can they call this a vacation? He throws an empty can towards a distant trash can, frustration radiating off him. It misses. Damn it! Nothing's going right. How could I refuse the Chief Justice's offer? What am I doing? And what am I supposed to do to help Baek Ji-suk become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? Why does his personality have to be so damn complicated? Han Zhang runs his hands through his hair, overwhelmed. His phone rings, interrupting his thoughts. He sighs but answers. This is Lee Han Zhang. Judge Han Zhang, it's Park Chun-kwa, the company you mentioned earlier. Was it the Kong Corporation? Park Chun-kwa asks, his voice serious. We've prosecuted them before, but something about that trial always felt off. I think we need to keep an eye on them. Han Zhang nods approvingly. Alright, I'll leave the investigation to you, make sure to get to the bottom of it. Park Chun-kwa continues, actually, there's something else. As he speaks, the sounds of shouting and struggling come through the phone. It's the two thieves, caught red-handed. Aren't you a prosecutor? I'm suing you. Ow. Easy, man. This case is still under wraps, the details are confidential. I'm curious, how did you even find out about it, Judge Lee? Last year, the Central District Court handled a case involving the CEO of the Kong Corporation. It ended with a suspended sentence. I was intrigued by the verdict, so I read through the case files. Something about it felt off. Han Zhang responds calmly. Park Chun-kwa simply replies, alright. He hangs up abruptly. He sure is a man of few words, Han Zhang thinks as he watches the call end. His gloomy expression brightens into a smile. He rests his head on his hand, gazing at the sunset. Poor Lee Chung-gun, your weakness has been exposed. Prosecutor Park said the most suspicious part was that Judge Lee Chung-gun was the presiding judge in the Kong Corporation case. To think that fat fool could actually preside over a case as a judge. Back then, the former CEO of Kong Corporation bribed Judge Lee with a hefty sum to secure a favorable verdict. But Prosecutor Park was right to be suspicious. It's only a matter of time before Lee Chung-gun is caught. The investigation into Kong Corporation will eventually lead right to Judge Lee. Lee Chung-gun, you're finished. Han Zhang gives a thumbs down to the picture of Gun on his phone. Suddenly, his phone rings again. He jumps, startled to see Song Nagin's name on the screen. Judge, it's me, Song Nagyan. Her voice comes through the phone. Oh, didn't you say you were going to the hospital? Is everything okay? Yes, it's me. I'm so sorry. I just got off the phone with my family, and, well, I think something serious has happened. I need legal advice urgently. You're the only one I know. I'm sorry, it's against the rules for a judge to give private legal advice. Han Zhang's voice is apologetic but firm. I'll do anything you ask. Please, I beg you, this is about my father's livelihood. Han Zhang sighs, fine, meet me tomorrow afternoon, in Seoul. But what happened to your father? What? He was arrested for theft? He repeats, his voice sharp with disbelief. Suddenly, a vision of Kim Jun-hyuk's smug face fills his mind. How's your mother? Getting old, isn't she? Life without you must be tough on her, huh? Maybe I should give your mother some medicine. Han Zhang's eyes widen in horror. Kim Jun-hyuk, you bastard! He screams.
Calm down, son, an elderly man sitting next to him speaks up.
Han Jang snaps out of it, running a hand through his hair. Damn it! That bastard's invading my dreams now?
The train speeds through the countryside, approaching Seoul Station.
Mother, how are you?
Han Jang stares out the window, lost in thought. You raised me on your own, collecting scraps, after Dad passed away.
Memories flood his mind.
A woman pulls a cart filled with recyclables. What are you doing here?
Go, I've got this.
She wouldn't let him help her.
Han Jang. Don't. Listen to your mother. It's fine. Get out of here.
But Yashihai convinced me to move Mom into that fancy house, claiming her in-laws insisted on it to maintain appearances. I was too busy to visit her, then she got dementia. I wanted her to have a comfortable life, but that house was more like a prison. She must have heard about my suicide, while she was battling dementia.
An elderly woman sits alone, confused. Someone died? Who is it? I don't have a son.
You loved pork belly and soju. Next time, we'll have it together. He watches the scenery fly by, determination filling his eyes.
Hello?
This is Lee Han Jang. Song Najin's voice is frantic. Judge, it's me again.
Things are getting worse. Can we meet now? Please, I'm begging you. Where are you?
The train will arrive at Seoul Station in a few minutes. Please gather your belongings and prepare to disembark. The announcement echoes through the train as Han Jang thinks to himself, there's something about Song Nagyan, I can't say no to her.
Seoul, a small but elegant cafe.
Again, I have to remind you, I can't give legal advice. Han Jang speaks gently but firmly.
But this is so unfair. Please, just listen to me, Song Nagyan pleads. What happened?
My father is a security guard at an apartment complex. There was a break-in during his shift, and now the security company is suing him for damages.
Song Najin's voice trembles with indignation.
So the victim filed a claim with the security company, and they accepted it. Han Jang thinks, is this a case of the company admitting their fault, or a wealthy victim abusing their power? For the victim to be able to claim damages from the security company, they would have had to admit negligence on their part, unless someone from security helped the thieves. Han Jang looks at Song Nagyan.
No way. My father would never do such a thing. Now he's both a thief and an accomplice? This is ridiculous. She cries out. How much were the damages? Han Jang asks. Song Nagyan sighs, about 450 million won. What? 450 million won? Han Jang is stunned by the amount. How did this happen? And who is the victim? Song Nagyan runs a hand through her hair, exhausted. It's Lee Chang-hyo, the director of the Han River Hospital. The director of Han River Hospital?
I bet you he has plenty of money, but even if he's rich, Han Jang trails off, deep in thought. Wait, Director Lee Chang-hyo of Han River Hospital, his eyes widen in recognition. If this is about the robbery at the Han River Hospital director's place, I know about that case. It made headlines when the thief broke into the luxury apartment and stole over 2 billion won in cash. It was meant to be kept quiet, but the thief stole something that was never supposed to see the light of day. The military service corruption ledger. When the contents of those ledgers were exposed, it caused a massive public outcry, a wave of outrage across the nation. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. It was an earth-shattering scandal that took down countless politicians, high-ranking officials, military leaders. If I can get my hands on that military corruption ledger, and hand it over to Chief Justice Beck, Han Jang's mind races, his face alight with excitement. Song Nagyan watches him, confused by his sudden shift in demeanor. Judge Lee? Are you alright? Han Jang smiles, a glint in his eye. Where's your father now? I've found it. My next target. Ha ha ha. I remember it all now. This is perfect. He's practically vibrating with excitement. Judge, are you even listening? Song Nagyan sighs, exasperated. He blinks, snapping back to reality. Judge, can you please help me? My father is innocent, she pleads. I really can't help you with this. He scratches his head, awkwardly waving his hands. Tears well up in Song Najin's eyes. Her small frame seems even more fragile, making her seem even more pitiful. I can't say no to her when she looks like that. Han Jang sighs internally. Where is your father now? Song Najin's eyes widen. Oh, right. They called this morning and said he had to go to the company office. The apartment manager and the head of security are there too. They're threatening my father. Please, Judge. You have to help me. She stands up, her voice frantic. Damn it, that hospital director will be looking for that ledger too, before it can be reported to the police. He'll use all his connections to get it back, that's for sure. I need to tread carefully with this case. After a moment of silence, Han Zhang nods decisively. Alright, let's do it.
Song Najan's face brightens, relief flooding her features. A gloomy sky hangs over the city streets.
The sound of heels clicking against the pavement echoes in the air. A woman with long silver hair walks with purpose, dressed in a sharp business suit.
This is Song Nagyan. It's Song Nagyan, disguised. She adjusts her earpiece. You'll be able to hear everything clearly through my earpiece.
If anything goes wrong, I'll alert the police immediately, don't worry. Try to stay calm, and remember to keep the earpiece hidden. The voice on the other end continues giving instructions.
Reporter Song? Reporter Song, can you hear me?
The voice calls out, concerned. Song Nagyan arrives at a door, shouting comes from inside.
Just confess, old man Song. It wasn't me. Please, believe me. I didn't steal anything. Reporter Song? Where are you? What's happening?
Song Nagyan takes a deep breath, her eyes hardening with resolve. I hear you loud and clear, I'm going in. She pushes open the door, her gaze fixed and furious. Everyone inside the room stares at her, surprised by her sudden entrance.
A burly man holding a wooden club steps forward. Who are you? Song Najan's father, kneeling on the floor, looks up at her, his voice shaking. What are you doing here? Hello, my name is Song Nagyan, I'm this man's daughter. She states calmly. His daughter, eh? So, where's the money he stole?
The thug with the club asks.
My father is not a thief. Song Nagyan retorts. Oh, how cute.
Just because you're poor doesn't give you the right to steal. This apartment complex is practically impenetrable.
Every window has an alarm.
The main door needs, whatchamacallit, so, the only way anyone could have gotten in is if security was involved.
Get it? Now cough up the stolen goods, old man. It's stuff you could only dream of owning.
A man with slicked back blonde hair, dressed in a blue suit and red tie, chimes in.
Song Najan's father looks at her pleadingly. Nagyan. Go home. It's fine. I'm innocent.
I'll clear this misunderstanding. Sir, do you realize our company is being sued because of you?
Tell me where your accomplice is. That's the only way we can get a lighter sentence. The blonde man raises his voice. Where are they? I'm telling you, it wasn't me. I didn't steal anything.
The blonde man narrows his eyes. If you keep denying it.
Your daughter's quite lovely, isn't she? I bet she'd be very popular. He approaches Song Nagyan, a predatory smile on his face. Nagyan. Run. Get out of here. Her father screams. Sir, you do realize that what you're doing constitutes sexual harassment? Song Nagyan states calmly. What? Sexual harassment?
The blonde man splutters. You're the head of this company, a supposedly educated man, aren't you ashamed of saying such things? She stares him down, leaving him speechless and looking constipated. Elsewhere, Han Zhang listens to the conversation through Song Najan's earpiece, a small smile playing on his lips.
Damn it. It wasn't harassment. I was just joking. Now, where's the stolen stuff?
Suddenly, Han Zhang's voice comes through the earpiece. Let's begin. The tenant was on vacation, and the house was empty. The thief snuck in and stole valuables. Song Nagyan repeats his words verbatim. In cases like this, there are grounds for denying liability for damages. The blonde man and his thugs stare at her, bewildered. The tenant should have notified the security team and confirmed the presence of valuable items before leaving for vacation, but they didn't.
What is this girl talking about?
The blonde man frowns.
Song Nagyan turns to her father. Dad, did the homeowner confirm the presence of any valuables before their trip? No, they didn't. She continues.
There's a legal exemption stating that if the tenant doesn't inform the security team beforehand, then the security team is not liable for stolen items. This is a Supreme Court ruling.
The blonde man remains silent, taken aback. What is she saying? Is that even Korean?
The other thugs whisper among themselves.
Look, little lady, you're clearly mistaken. The issue here isn't about notification. It's about your father being the thief.
He shouts, his frustration growing.
Do you have any proof? Song Nagyan asks, her voice icy. What? You think I'd be here without proof? The CCTV footage shows old man Song wandering around in the elevator. No one else used it except the residents. It's obvious he's the culprit. He declares. That's unfair. The residents could be the culprits too. Song Nagyan shouts, exasperated. Do you even know what kind of people live here? You need to watch your mouth. You don't even know my father, and you're accusing him like this? I don't need to. I'm the one who hired him. You did? Song Nagyan raises an eyebrow. How dare you mock me, you bitch.
Show them your press ID, tell them everything is being recorded, Han Zhang's calm voice instructs through the earpiece. The blonde man stops mid-rant, his eyes widening. I'm Song Nagyan, a reporter from the Xin Daily. Every word you've said has been recorded and will be used as evidence in court.
Song Nagyan holds up her press ID and recording device. The men look at each other nervously. What's the Xin Daily? It's a newspaper, Sammy. If those words you just uttered get out, do you really think you'll be able to keep working at those fancy apartments? Song Nagyan continues. You know how bad things are these days, right? The media would go crazy over this. There will be protests right at your doorstep. The blonde man pales, beads of sweat forming on his brow. What? And then, all those wealthy residents will cancel their contracts to save face. Think you can handle that? Song Nagyan paints a grim picture of the consequences.
The bluster fades from the blonde man's demeanor, replaced by fear. Wait, hold on.
Pressing her advantage, Song Nagyan leans in. Should I go out there and write that article? Or do you want to help me catch the real thief? And no, the thief is definitely Old Man Song. He stammers, still clinging to his accusation. Cut the crap. You knew all along my father was innocent. Song Nagyan shouts. Defeated, the blonde man waves a dismissive hand. Oh, screw it. This is driving me nuts. Old Man Song, take your smartass daughter and get out of here. Her father rushes to her side. Come on, Nagyan, let's go home. I'm not going anywhere. Apologize, you bastards. Apologize to my father.
She yells, her father looking on in shock. The men cower before her fierce demeanor, her small size no longer a deterrent.
Bow your heads, you scumbags. She commands, her voice cold and menacing. Judge, what should I do now? Song Nagyan whispers into the phone. Get your father and leave, Han Zhang instructs. But, they're actually bowing on the floor. Is it okay to leave them like this?
Before Han Zhang can answer, the line goes dead.
Should I save the recording? Song Nagyan texts him, concerned. She's worried about everything, isn't she?
Han Zhang chuckles to himself. I can't believe she actually pulled that off. He types out a reply.
Sorry, my phone died. Don't report anything that happened today, not until I give you the signal.
If you publish that article, the entire security team will be out of a job. He sends the message, a thought striking him. I'm starting to sound more and more like Song Nagyan. On the other end, Song Nagyan stares at the men bowing before her, a mixture of amusement and exasperation on her face. Thank God these idiots didn't bury me somewhere.
Sunset, a quiet neighborhood, far from the towering skyscrapers. Han Zhang arrives, carrying a bag of groceries. Mom, how about some pork belly and soju tonight?
His mother looks up at him, surprised.
Han Zhang's eyes well up with emotion. I can't believe I get to see you again. I thought I'd never see you smile again.
I never realized how much I missed seeing your proud smile.
I'd forgotten how young you looked 20 years ago. What are you doing here? She asks, smiling.
Han Zhang simply stares at her, wanting to etch this moment in his memory. Seeing you so healthy, it makes it real. I'm really back. Suddenly, the sound of arguing interrupts their reunion. Watch where you're going, you old hag.
What was that? I didn't bump into you because I wasn't looking. Two elderly women are locked in a heated argument. Can't you say something to them?
His mother sighs. The women stop arguing and look at them.
They stare at Han Zhang. Is this your son? The one who's a judge?
Yes, he is.
Han Zhang gives them an awkward smile. Hello, ladies, if you don't mind my asking, what seems to be the problem? Not at all.
This woman, she went downhill without looking.
What are you talking about? I didn't bump into her. I was looking.
Han Zhang steps between them as they start arguing again. All right, everyone calm down. Now, tell me what happened, slowly.
He addresses the first woman. You were pulling your cart downhill the traditional way, right?
It's not that hard, but you have to bend over and go up slowly. Do you think you had enough time to look behind you?
Yes, I did.
All right, your turn. Tell me your side of the story. He gestures to the other woman. Han Zhang finds himself presiding over an impromptu trial, right in front of his mother's house. She was pulling her cart downhill the old way. The cart won't roll forward if you don't hold it from behind, so I was pushing it downhill, and the stuff was piled up high. Do you think I could see her?
The person at the bottom should be more careful. Han Zhang rubs his temples, deep in thought. He points to the woman with the curly hair. You win. I win. I was right. See? The other woman cries out, what? Why? Going downhill slowly can cause a bigger accident, so you have to be extra careful. You were careless, you were going downhill with so much stuff piled up in your cart that it blocked your view. Ha ha. You're a good judge. Oh, alright. The defeated woman concedes. Han Zhang's mother steps in, her voice soothing. Now, no more fighting. My son bought pork belly and soju. Come inside and have some with us. Han Zhang watches them, a warm smile spreading across his face. Han Zhang's phone rings, the caller ID shows Suk Jung-ho. Hey, Jung-ho, his voice is cheerful. A small, rustic barbecue restaurant. A table laden with steaming pork hock and the sound of friendly chatter. Don't they make the best pork hock here? I used to come here all the time. It's even tastier after all these years. But what can I do? Your mom hates me. The man sitting across from Han Zhang, his hair dyed a vibrant blonde, sighs. Well, I don't exactly expect her to warm up to me. He clinks glasses with Han Zhang. There's one thing I did that your mom doesn't know about, Han Zhang becoming a powerful figure, after being, well, a delinquent throughout his youth. I bet it would make a good movie, huh? Han Zhang chuckles, a movie about a rebellious kid turning his life around? That's a bit predictable, don't you think? The blonde man laughs, maybe so. What are you up to these days? Han Zhang asks. Suk Jung-ho takes a sip of his drink. All I know is how to throw a punch, but my friend is a judge. I'm taking a break from my usual activities. Don't want to run into you in court. Didn't you say you had a job at the eco center last time? They went bankrupt, shut down. I'm trying to go straight, but the world keeps messing with me, he sighs dramatically. His gaze turns serious. I doubt you wanted to meet just to catch up. What do you need from me? He leans in, his voice dropping. Glad you catch on quickly. I need you to do something for me. Me? Jung-ho blinks, surprised. It's 11 o'clock at night. Just tell me what you need. The day you were supposed to take your first law school entrance exam, after that day, I decided I'd do anything you asked. He raises his glass, his voice sincere. Han Zhang's mind travels back in time, remembering. Jung-ho, dressed in his military uniform, his voice breaking as he spoke into the payphone. Han Zhang. Han Zhang, my mom, she's sick. It was the first round of the law school entrance exam. I'd been preparing for so long. Then, out of the blue, Jung-ho, who was doing his military service, called me, crying. I didn't hesitate. I left the exam and rushed to Jung-ho's house. I took his mother to the hospital. Thank you, Han Zhang. It's nothing, ma'am. Don't worry about me. Just focus on getting better. A young Han Zhang smiles reassuringly. Back in the barbecue restaurant, Han Zhang takes a sip of his drink. I need you to find something for me. Something? He points towards a building in the distance. Those thieves recently hit an apartment in the Dusong residence. They took something, potentially dangerous. Jung-ho looks in the direction he's pointing. That place has tight security. I think they have 100 guards or something. Any idea who it could be? Who in this neighborhood would dare mess with the Dusong residents? If you're asking me to do this, then I'm guessing you can't involve the police. You're right, this isn't something I can ask the police to handle, that's why I came to you. Jung-ho narrows his eyes. The reward better be something expensive. Han Zhang's gaze hardens. He raises his hand. Boss. Another order of pork hock, please. Jung-ho grins, clapping his hands together. Now you're talking. I'll take that as a down payment. You can count on me, Han Zhang. I'll call you as soon as I find it. Central District Court. Kim Jun-hyuk's voice, dripping with false sincerity, drifts down the hallway. Hey, Han Zhang. How was your trip to Seoul? Han Zhang shoots him a cold look. It was fine. Is your mother well? Did you buy her lots of delicious food? Han Zhang grits his teeth, fighting the urge to punch him. He forces a smile. I did. God, I feel sick every time he mentions my mother. Kim Jun-hyuk continues, oblivious to Han Zhang's discomfort. Where are you headed? You just got back. To the chief's office? No, Han Zhang keeps walking. I'm going to Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk's office. Kim Jun-hyuk's eyes narrow. Oh right, talk to you later then. He hurries away. Han Zhang continues on his way to Baek Ji-suk's office, ignoring him. The moment I mentioned the Chief Justice, his expression soured. Hypocrite, that damn hypocrite. That's why we'll never get along, you bastard. A modern building, its glass windows gleaming in the sunlight. Chief Justice Baek Ji-suk's office. Baek Ji-suk places another file on his desk. Such a hard worker, you finished it already? Ready to get back to work? Read this. Is this the case going to the High Court that you mentioned before? Han Zhang asks. Do I look like someone who goes back on his word? Baek Ji-suk smiles. I apologize, sir. Han Zhang takes the file, scratching his head awkwardly. This is a different case. Think about why I'm giving it to you. Baek Ji-suk's smile is enigmatic.
Han Zhang scans the file, muttering to himself, attempted murder in a small factory. At first glance, it seems like a regular case, but he wouldn't just hand me any random case, would he? Let's see. He flips through the pages carefully. Suddenly, his eyes widen in shock. No way. This is about the incident at the Dusong Shopping Mall. Dusong Shopping Mall is a subsidiary of Dusong Group, and its CEO is Jang Tae-sik, a man who would soon become a titan of industry. He remembers Jang Tae-sik's words, spoken just before he was dragged away. You think you can get away with this? I'll be out in 3 months, and then you better watch your back, you little punk. He's the one who ruined my life after I refused to accept his bribe. I'll put him away for good. This case was swept under the rug back then. He got away with murder. But his company's dirty secrets will be exposed eventually. I can't touch Jang Tae-sik with this case, but I can prepare. Little by little, I'll gather the evidence I need to take him down. His eyes harden with resolve. Well, are you going to refuse this one too? Baek Ji-suk asks, noticing his silence. No, sir, I'll take this case, and I'll do my best. Good, I have high hopes for you with this one. If that's all, I'll get started right away. He bows and turns to leave. But something on the Chief Justice's desk catches his eye. It's an iPad, displaying a breaking news article. Kim Jong-man, the front-runner for Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. 3 months until the Supreme Court election. And they say Kim Jong-man is the most likely candidate to take the position. It's almost a certainty. Rumor has it that Baek Ji-suk and Kim Jong-man don't get along. If Kim Jong-man becomes Chief Justice, Baek Ji-suk's future will be bleak. But Kim Jong-man won't last long as Chief Justice. He'll disappear from the scene altogether. Because I'm going to get rid of Kim Jong-man, he commits the name to memory, his resolve unwavering. A dingy office building, its facade plastered with gaudy gold lettering, Boss. Damn it. It's so hard to get a hold of you these days. You got the money? You know how much it's adding up? A large man with an intimidating face and a shock of orange hair yells into his phone. Hello? Hello? The line goes dead. He slams the phone down, cursing, bastard. I saved your life, and this is how you repay me? Ungrateful bastards. They don't even know what they owe me. Suk Jung-ho, sitting on the sofa, smiles. You seem busy these days. Oh, sorry about that. It's not every day my junior visits my humble abode. Things have been a bit hectic lately, too many people borrowing money and not paying it back. The future of this country worries me, problems piling up like a mountain. He sighs dramatically. He sits down on the sofa and calls out, Hey, Miss Kim. 2 coffees, less sugar, please. A voice calls back, Yes, sir. He turns to Jung-ho, his face serious. What brings you here? Appearing out of the blue like this. Need some cash? Or someone, roughed up? Jung-ho doesn't answer. Instead, he asks, You're connected to the underworld, aren't you, Hyung? The orange-haired man's expression turns thoughtful. He takes a sip of his coffee. Well, they're looking for someone around here, but it seems they can't find him. They asked me to turn a blind eye. Suk Jung-ho tenses, realizing someone else might be looking for the same person he is. Do you know who they're looking for? Instead of answering, Jung-ho stares him down. Hyung, if you don't tell me, I'm going to kill you. The orange-haired man stares back at him, his expression unreadable. Suddenly, he leaps to his feet, grabbing a stack of papers from his desk and throwing them at Jung-ho. Jung-ho catches the papers effortlessly, his eyes cold. What the hell, Hyung? This is annoying. The man grabs the desk phone. He hurls it at Jung-ho, who barely manages to deflect it. Seizing his chance, the man scrambles over his desk and runs towards a back room. He slams the door shut, shouting over his shoulder, Come back later. I'm busy. Hyung, wait. Jung-ho shouts. But the door is locked. Open this door, Hyung. I'm serious, I'll kill you. Jung-ho, calm down. Just listen to me. The man's voice is muffled. Listen to what? Get out here, you coward. Suddenly, silence. And then, a crash as Jung-ho breaks down the door, sending the man and the door flying backwards. Holy shit.
Central District Court. In the cafeteria, Lee Chung-gun slurps his noodles. I served as a lawyer in the military. What about you? I studied to become a lawyer too, sir, Kim Jun-hyuk replies. Lee Chung-gun scowls, his gaze shifting towards Han Zhang, who's eating quietly. And Han Zhang? What about you? You went to police academy? Han Zhang asks, ignoring his question. Didn't you get discharged because your sergeant died? I never thought he'd become so successful. Had I known, I would have waited and climbed the ladder, all the way to the Minister of Justice, maybe, Gun sighs, wistfully. No, Han Zhang interrupts coldly. He stands up, grabbing his tray. I'm going back to work. You little. The least you could do is pretend to listen to me. Gun shouts, his face reddening, this is so annoying. This is why I hate guys like you, always trying to one-up everyone. You're messing with me, aren't you? You little punk. Get back here and talk to me. What are you waiting for? His angry shouts echo down the hallway. Sure, I'll talk to you respectfully, when you stop trying to kill me. His phone rings, it's Suk Jung-ho. Hey, what's up, Jung-ho? It's me, I found it. He's carrying an unconscious man over his shoulder. I found what you were looking for. An abandoned warehouse, surrounded by trees. Han Zhang pulls up in his car. You made it. Jung-ho greets him. Man, this place is creepy, you sure you didn't torture them here? Han Zhang looks around, uneasy. Torture? Do you know how hard it is to find a place with no cameras these days? Jung-ho smiles. Are those the guys? Han Zhang asks, his gaze drawn towards a corner of the warehouse. Two men sit huddled together, trembling. Please, help us. They sob, their eyes wide with fear. You caught them faster than I expected. How did you find them so quickly? Han Zhang asks, I had some help, he's an expert in these matters. Him? Han Zhang grimaces, remembering the orange-haired man. Oh, he's done this before? Isn't he the one dealing with stolen goods from loan sharking? The one who's going under? I think he worked things out somehow, he's got them all on his payroll. It's good that they targeted a wealthy apartment complex, but they shouldn't have taken anything other than cash. Han Zhang nods in agreement. Well, at least that scumbag is finally doing something useful. The stolen goods are all in that box, but this is what you were looking for, right? Jung-ho hands him a file. Let's see if it's the right one. Someone said that someone else is looking for this too, just in case. I made sure he'll keep his mouth shut. Han Zhang opens the file, his gaze scanning the documents. People who get caught with this don't tend to survive. This is it, this is what I was looking for. He turns to the thieves, you too. As soon as we let you go, take the rest of the stolen goods and turn yourselves in, you'll be safer in jail. Why yes, sir. We understand. You dumped the useless stuff in this ledger too, right? Got it? The people who know what's in this book don't end up well. His voice is a low growl, a warning. The thieves bow their heads, fear etched on their faces. Why yes, sir. We'll remember. Thank you for saving us. Thank you. Look at this rotten bunch, so many bastards using money to dodge military service. Han Zhang flips through the pages, disgust lacing his voice. Let's see, Kim Chun-man, where are you? You have to be here somewhere. Bingo, found you. Kim Chun-man's name is there, among the list of those who evaded military service. Kim Chin-jong, son of Supreme Court Chief Justice Kim Chun-man. He could have lived a respectable life, but because of the bribes he paid to get his son out of military service, Kim Chun-man will, without a doubt, be eliminated from the next Chief Justice candidacy. Ha? What's this? Assemblyman Ju-ho? He frowns, spotting an unfamiliar name. I can't remember every name from 20 years ago, but I'm sure he wasn't on the list in my past life. Ju-ho isn't the only one, there are many names here that weren't on the list before. What the hell is this? Did they manipulate the ledger? Is there anything these bastards won't do? His phone rings, interrupting his thoughts. He takes it out of his pocket, it's Song Nagyon. Hello, this is Lee Han Zhang. I'm sorry, Judge, I was in a meeting and couldn't answer your call. By the way, do you have any idea why they called us in for a meeting? Oh, God, I can't believe it. The representative for tomorrow's meeting could be a director or... Han Zhang's voice cuts her off. We can talk about that later, I have a juicy story for you to write. Where are you now? Me? At the office, of course, it's near City Hall, there's no traffic, so you can be here in 30 minutes, I'm in Seoul. Aren't you in Juncheon-dong? I just got back to Seoul, I'll send you the address, get here quickly. Who was that? A woman? Is she pretty? Jung-ho asks eagerly. Well, I wouldn't. Why didn't you introduce us? Wait, I'm unemployed. Damn, I shouldn't be wearing sweats. Song Najan's car pulls up outside the warehouse. Judge. I'm here. She rushes inside. Hey, welcome. Han Zhang waves, smiling. I'm Jung-ho, wearing a bright yellow bow tie, stammers. This is reporter Song Nagyan, the one I was talking to on the phone. What? This guy. Seriously? Damn, she's not my type, I shouldn't be wearing this. He rips off the bow tie. What's with the weird vibe here? I feel like I'm intruding. Song Nagyan looks around, confused. I need you to write an article about your father's case. Han Zhang gets straight to the point. But you told me not to. She protests. If you had published that article before, your father would have been crucified by the media. He's a thief. He's innocent, it would have been a nightmare. But you don't have to worry about that now, we've caught the people behind it all. You can even leak the information to the press now, he'll be the victim, it'll be fine. He gestures to a suitcase on the table. The stolen goods were too valuable, they couldn't find a buyer. What about those documents? Song Nagyan points to the file in Han Zhang's hand. Han Zhang freezes. That? I brought that with me. She's a reporter, alright, amazing observational skills. He turns to Jung-ho, can you take these guys to the police station? How much for the delivery service? Pork hock, okay? Deal. Jung-ho hoists the two unconscious men onto his shoulders and carries them out of the warehouse. Damn, these guys are heavy. Song Nagyan stares at him, wide-eyed. Don't be scared. I don't bite. Reflex, I didn't mean anything by it, he's like 2 meters tall. He's huge. They drive away from the warehouse. A high-rise building, its windows reflecting the city lights. A man in a dark suit stands by a window, overlooking the city. He turns, his eyes sharp. What's the matter? A man enters the room, Chief Detective Kim Chun-man. The thieves who broke into the director's house have turned themselves in. What about the ledger? They didn't know what it was, so they threw it in the trash. It's going to be difficult to retrieve. I apologize. Kim Chun-man's expression darkens. Those incompetent prosecutors, he turns back to the window, his voice laced with disdain, they're useless. Central District Court. Lee Chung-gun laughs boisterously, that's why I beat him. The evidence was fabricated from the start. I went back to square one and uncovered the truth. Ha ha. Now, Judge Lee Han Zhang's career is over. If you want an easy life, you should treat your seniors with respect. But, my good mood is ruined. His smile disappears as he spots someone in the hallway. Look at him. He'll never get anywhere with a face like that, and I heard his mother runs a scrapyard. It's Han Zhang, arriving for work, his expression weary. People from humble backgrounds are everywhere, aren't they? He probably doesn't even realize we're talking about him. The only thing in that head of his is how to be a good lapdog for the Chief Justice. He'll be finished soon enough. Kim Jun-hyuk, standing nearby, overhears their conversation. Baek Ji-suk's office. What's going on? Baek Ji-suk asks, looking at Han Zhang. Chief Justice, my mother runs a scrapyard, she's well connected with the other shop owners in the area, and I found this ledger. I heard there was a strange book among the items brought into another shop. He hands the ledger to Baek Ji-suk. Baek Ji-suk opens it. A list? Is all of this real? His voice is full of disbelief as he reads the ledger carefully. It's been verified, rest assured, sir, you should keep this safe. Han Zhang smiles confidently. Baek Ji-suk's stern face softens into a smile. I thought I had a hunting dog, but perhaps it's more accurate to say, a tiger cub? I've heard that your nickname is the White Tiger of Justice. If I'm being raised by a tiger, then a cub it is, Han Zhang replies smoothly. Baek Ji-suk chuckles, the White Tiger of Justice, huh? Yes, I've been called that a few times. Be careful, tiger cubs, when nurtured too quickly, can easily fall off cliffs. I'll do my best to climb back up, Chief Justice, his voice is firm, unwavering. Soon, the contents of the military corruption ledger are exposed to the public. The people are outraged by the names on the list. Breaking news regarding the military corruption case, Baek Ji-suk, Chief Justice of the Central District Court, states that military service is a sacred duty, and promises to punish those who use money and power to evade it like eels, regardless of the circumstances. Only those without money and power have to serve? Bastards! Those scumbags should go to jail instead of evading service. Their parents. Their children. Arrest them all. Lee Chang-hyo, the director of Han River Hospital, is arrested first. Chief Detective Kim Chun-man and other high-ranking government officials are summoned for questioning. Let's see the list of candidates. Han Jung scrolls through the list on his computer. There it is. The White Tiger of Justice, Baek Ji-suk, untainted by the military corruption scandal. His phone rings. Hello? Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa? What is it? Judge, I'm calling about the Kong Corporation case. While investigating the details, I found Judge Lee Chung-gun's name from your district court. So? Wasn't it obvious he accepted bribes from Kong Corporation? Park Chun-kwa's voice is blunt. Let me be frank, Judge, did you use me to get back at Judge Lee? Of course not. I work under Chief Lim Chong-sik. I don't care much about Judge Lee Chung-gun. Isn't it your duty as a prosecutor to arrest Judge Lee if he's guilty? Right, I'll trust you on this. Park Chun-kwa hangs up. He finally caught a big fish. Park Chun-kwa will arrest Lee Chung-gun soon, and then, he'll be known as the prosecutor who took down a judge. He'll be praised for doing a good job, especially with the current tensions between the judiciary and the prosecution. This is how he'll rise through the ranks. And Chief Lim will be the one to guide him. It's not just me who needs to be prepared for the battles to come, my people need to be ready too. Footsteps interrupt his thoughts. Kim Jun-hyuk enters the room. Hey, Han Zhang, have you heard? Heard what? There's an internal investigation going on in our court. What? An internal investigation? This never happened in my past life. What the hell is going on? Judge Lee Chung-gun was just called into the chief's office. Looks like he's the prime suspect. Judge Lee is a suspect? No, but... Han Zhang stares at him, confused, but why does that bastard look so smug? The judge's chambers. What? An internal investigation? You haven't heard? Judge Lee Chung-gun is going down. Really? Where did you hear that? Oh, no. I'm under Judge Lee. You know that Kong Corporation trial? Well, there are rumors that the prosecutor complained about Judge Lee's verdict. And now, during the internal investigation, they found evidence that he took bribes from the Kong Corporation CEO. So the prosecutor is the one who went after Judge Lee? It's pretty impressive to see a prosecutor going on the offensive like that. Everyone is buzzing with gossip. A whistleblower? I don't know, judges aren't exactly under constant surveillance, you know? No, but where is Judge Lee now? He left the chief's office. He was summoned to the Chief Justice's office. Night falls. A chubby hand slams against the wall in frustration. Damn it! Lee Chung-gun leans against the wall, trembling. Who betrayed me? I'll find them. And then I'll... He's a mess of fear and anger. Why are you making such a fuss? A voice cuts through his panic. Footsteps approach. That judge's robe you're wearing, I wanted to see it so badly, but it's so dirty. Lee Chung-gun freezes, recognizing the voice. What? He spins around, his face contorting with fury. It's Han Zhang, you little bastard. Han Zhang. You betrayed me. Didn't you? He lunges at Han Zhang, grabbing his shirt. God, why do all you criminals react the same way? Han Zhang smiles coldly. If you do something wrong, you should be punished, isn't that right? What? Shut up. Shut your damn mouth. He throws a punch, but Han Zhang easily dodges it. Oh, wanna fight now, huh? You arrogant little, want to get punched? You always have to talk back to me, don't you? You little bastard. He throws another punch, rage contorting his features. Han Zhang steps back, easily avoiding his attack. I think your arms are a bit too short. Gun, charging forward, loses his balance. He falls face first onto the floor. Oh, for God's sake. That doesn't suit you, wear something that fits better. Lucky for you, prison uniforms are pretty roomy. I'm leaving, I have a date. He walks away, leaving Gun sprawled on the floor, utterly defeated. Though I wonder if they have clothes in your size in prison. Hearing those fatal words, the obese Lee Chung-gun let out a wail of pain. In the court lobby, it's all because of that bastard, Lee Chung-gun cursed. I'll kill you, I'll tell all my fellow judges.
He was holding his head in his hands, sitting on the bench and screaming when suddenly a voice interrupted him. "Excuse me, senior. You shouldn't bother everyone like this is a sacred courthouse, you shouldn't be yelling." He looked up and saw that the person who had just arrived was Kim Jun-hyuk. Kim Jun-hyuk looked at him coldly and sighed softly. "You've been having a lot of trouble lately. I hear a lot of people are having trouble because of you. Why would you do that?" Lee Chung-gun took the can of soda and grumbled. "Spending every day with Lee Han-jang is making you more and more like him, oh right. Are you close with the Chief Justice, or the head judge? What should I do? Save me." Lee Chung-gun hurriedly asked, clinging to him like a lifeline. But suddenly, Kim Jun-hyuk grabbed his fat hand and flung it away. Lee Chung-gun was stunned. "What are you doing? How dare you, you filthy criminal? How dare you touch me?" Kim Jun-hyuk looked at him with anger and disgust in his eyes. "What are you talking about? Are you crazy?" Before he could finish cursing, Kim Jun-hyuk violently grabbed him by the neck. "Help! Kim Jun-hyuk, what are you doing? I tripped, look. Someone help me!" he screamed pathetically. "You're tiring me out, you fat pig." Kim Jun-hyuk gritted his teeth, each word filled with anger. On the bustling street, a small barbecue restaurant was warmly lit. Over the table, filled with the aroma of grilled food, Han Jang asked, "Have you started the internal investigation?" Head Judge Lim Chong-sik smiled and asked, "What do you mean?" Lee Han-jang, sitting across from him, continued, "Before leaving work, I saw a pile of documents on your desk. The internal investigation of Judge Lee Chung-gun has revealed information that should not have been disclosed, so if you're trying to secretly investigate that much work in such a short time, it'll be hard for the Chief Justice not to notice. I'm pretty sure his accomplices are all Lee Chung-gun's assistants. This information hasn't been leaked for a long time, and it's too easy to bring them down since they're all connected." Han Zhang poured the alcohol as he calmly speculated. "Well, they don't even know what they did. I lied and said it was a case for me to study, and asked someone to investigate the suspicious parts of his rulings." Head Judge Lim Chong-sik, his face flushed from the alcohol, asked in confusion, "Who did you lie to?" Lee Han-jang calmly replied, "The Chief Justice, he's the only one I can trust." "Oh my god, you bastard. Really?" Head Judge Lim Chong-sik clutched his head in exasperation. He threw his hands up in defeat. "Fine, I did it. Everyone wants to do something, right? If I wanted to do it from the start, I definitely would have. Are you upset that Lee Chung-gun is gone? Does it bother you?" "Lee Han-jang, you're too arrogant. No matter how good you are, you still don't know anything." Head Judge Lim Chong-sik, his face red, rambled on with his drink in hand. Han Jang handed his glass to be refilled and replied, "You told me to be like this, have you forgotten?" "You, what did I say? You said I should just say what I want at drinking parties, and ask you anything I'm curious about. I'm not a big fan of this drinking culture, but you said we should be comfortable when drinking together." Han Jang smiled, recalling. "So that's why you're so comfortable now? Should I get you a bed to lie down on? I'm not even your supervisor anymore, but if I were, this would be too rude. You're going too far for a junior, young man." Seeing Head Judge's drunken state, Han Jang bowed his head apologetically. "I'm truly sorry." Head Judge Lim Chong-sik simply raised his glass and continued drinking. "So, what is it you want to say? Can I see the internal investigation report?" Judge Lee Han-jang asked with a contemplative look. For a moment, the head judge remained silent, staring intently at the young man before him. Finally, he asked, "Is there something about it that concerns you?" Han Jang smiled and shook his head. "No, I'm just a little curious about Jun-hyuk." "Jun-hyuk as in Kim Jun-hyuk?" The flushed head judge asked again. "Yes, he seemed very worried when he heard about the investigation, so I was wondering if something was up." Han Jang slowly voiced his suspicion. "That's why you asked? He's just a boring nobody. Don't worry about it. If I had found anything, I would have investigated him along with Lee Chung-gun." The head judge's voice was slurred with alcohol. "Is that so?" However, Judge Han Zhan was still puzzled. Why was Kim Jun-hyuk so flustered and worried when he heard about the internal investigation? "Have you prepared for the trial assigned by the Chief Justice? How's it going?" Director Lim Chong-sik asked. "Premeditated murder," a boss and employee argued, "and someone even used a knife." "That case seems a bit ordinary. Maybe it's safe to give it to you, see if anything's missing and be careful," head judge instructed Han Zhang. Hearing this, Judge Han Zhang smiled. "If I make any mistakes, you'll cover for me, right, head judge?" The head judge rubbed his temples. "Ah, you bastard, I raised you wrong. This is a trial that the Chief Justice himself is taking on. Cut out those rotten thoughts." Li Han-jang silently stared at the man who was continuously downing his drink. The head judge continued, "You brat, you need to be more ambitious, don't you think so?" Li Han-jang's eyes widened in surprise. "Huh? What did he just say?" The head judge pressed on, "Hey, you think I like this?
Treat me well, you punk. Oh, you're resigning, head judge? Lee Han-jang wondered to himself, utterly surprised. Come to think of it, Senior Lim Chong-sik resigned even before Baek Ji-suk, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at the time, and for some reason, he returned to his hometown and lived a quiet life. At that time, I was still an inexperienced judge and didn't know what had happened. Even so, I heard rumors about his resignation. Why did you resign, head judge? A man who loved being a judge suddenly resigned. Han-jang pondered as he heard the head judge's complaint, so treat me well, you brat. What the hell is the reason? Is something strange happening to you, head judge? Judge Lee Han-jang grew serious. Although he knew many things about the future, there were also things that he had never encountered in his previous life. The scene shifted to a building cloaked in the darkness of night. In the silence, two men could be heard arguing loudly. What? What are you saying? Oh, I told you already. Let me be clear again. I can't work with the boss anymore, I quit. A young man in a blue shirt declared resolutely, quitting? The pot-bellied, middle-aged man sitting across from him was stunned for a few seconds before roaring angrily, you bastard, you want to die? Die, you bastard. He grabbed a fruit knife from the table and lunged at the young man, causing the woman sitting next to him to scream in terror. Are you crazy? The blonde woman hurriedly intervened. In the house shrouded in the night, screams and painful cries rang out. Get off me, you bastard. In his office, Judge Lee Han-jang diligently read the case file on his iPad. The boss admitted that he didn't use the knife. He said he was drunk and didn't remember much. In some cases, ignorance of the truth can be used as a defense if the person is genuinely unaware of the facts, so stupid excuses like being drunk and out of it can be legally valid. Suddenly, a can of Coke was placed on his desk, interrupting his train of thought. Kim Jun-hyuk appeared, as usual, with the Coke in hand, smiling. Relax, you look exhausted these days. Lee Han-jang muttered a thank you, inwardly cursing, it's all your fault, you bastard. He tiredly opened the can of Coke, the familiar fizz filling the air. The handsome judge took a sip, his eyes still glued to the screen. First of all, this is the whole case. The story seems quite complicated. In this case, the problem seems to have started with an internal dispute at a small welding factory. It seems Jo Si-hee was introduced to Company S, where her father is the chairman, by his second wife, his former mistress. At that time, because I was the son-in-law of Company S, I was able to access the real story behind this case. Suddenly, Lee Han-jang's phone rang, startling him slightly. Hello, this is Lee Han-jang speaking. A stranger's voice spoke from the other end. I apologize, but are you the owner of the car with license plate XXXX? I accidentally scratched your car while reversing just now. Moments later, in the basement parking lot, Lee Han-jang wearily walked down and asked, looking at the man, well, where's the scratch? But before he could receive an answer, the judge's eyes widened in surprise as he recognized the person who had called him. Oh my god. It was a man with orange hair, a red suit, and a yellow scarf, looking very flashy. The man bowed politely and greeted him, hello. Looking at the man's strange smile, Judge Han-jang recalled his identity. Kim Min-ji, a lawyer from Company S, this guy still looks the same after 20 years? In his past life, when a reporter asked him what he thought about Judge Han-jang's case, this lawyer had replied, that judge who took bribes and even killed someone? He needs to be punished. I didn't expect to see him again here, Lee Han-jang sighed. The lawyer smiled awkwardly, I'm so sorry, I accidentally bumped into your car while reversing. Looking at the barely noticeable marks on the cars, Judge Han-jang couldn't help but feel bewildered. It's fine, it's already happened. It would be too much trouble to call the insurance company for such a minor accident. I apologize, but I think you should just get it fixed yourself. The lawyer's sudden words surprised Lee Han-jang, leaving him confused. He stared at the man and asked, what? Ah, I should introduce myself first. I'm Kim Min-ji, a lawyer from Company S. He presented his business card and began his introduction. Lee Han-jang reached out to take it, then froze as he realized something was hidden beneath the card. Kim Min-ji's sly, unsightly eyes stared at the judge with a hint of relish. What's this? Lee Han-jang asked coldly, holding up a black bank card concealed behind the business card. Lawyer Kim Min-ji smirked grotesquely, there's 10 million won in there, get your car fixed with that. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, Your Honor. How did you know I'm a judge? Han-jang asked coldly, of course I know, you're the judge for my case, the premeditated murder case at the welding company. He grinned, revealing his buck teeth, an unsightly sight that made one's eyes hurt. Is that so? What do you want me to do for you? Lee Han-jang asked, holding up the business card. The man, assuming Lee Han-jang was easily swayed, complimented him, you're young and quick to catch on, it's simple, Your Honor. I want to drag this trial out a little longer, after that, you can pass the verdict according to your decision. The handsome judge remained silent, his eyes cold. Lawyer Kim Min-zi's voice echoed through the parking garage. It's already the second trial anyway, it's not a big deal, right? It's perfectly fine. Li Hanjiang looked at the bank card in his hand. Is this a bribe?
Hearing this, the lawyer quickly corrected him.
Hey, it's not much money, I told you, it's for the repairs, I just added a little extra. This is a bribe, Li Hanjiang stated coldly.
In Korea, giving money as a gift is allowed, but exceeding a certain amount can be considered a bribe.
What? Lawyer Kim Min-zi was taken aback by Hanjiang's cold demeanor.
Li Hanjiang's unexpected accusation and the black card made Kim Min-zi panic. Things were clearly not going as planned.
Don't you see I'm recording?
Li Hanjiang showed him his phone with the recording app open.
Hello, Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa?
The judge's call startled the lawyer again.
Hey, Your Honor, what are you doing? He stammered. It's me, Li Hanjiang, prosecutor.
On the other end, Park Chun-kwa was on the phone, surrounded by case files.
Hello, Your Honor, what's up? I'm busy right now. Well, someone's trying to bribe me.
Realizing the situation was escalating, the lawyer panicked. No, Your Honor, I think there's a misunderstanding.
Report it to the police. What do you want me to do?
Park Chun-kwa suddenly yelled from the other end. Li Hanjiang calmly replied, Oh, I'd rather file a complaint with the prosecutor's office. If you ignore a citizen's accusation, I'll have to take it to the Blue House. The prosecutor was exasperated by Hanjiang's shamelessness. Oh, come on.
I'm hanging up.
Seeing Li Hanjiang end the call, the lawyer hurriedly explained, Your Honor, I think you misunderstood me. What I gave you wasn't a bribe, it was for the repairs. Don't play dumb, you were very clear about the trial. Li Hanjiang glanced at him coldly. You do know that the recording of our conversation is admissible evidence in court, containing your confession? Shaken by Li Hanjiang's gaze and words, Kim Min-zi stammered, No, that's not it.
It's just, it wasn't a bribe, so?
Suddenly, his eyes narrowed as if realizing something.
More, I'll give you more. I didn't know how much you wanted, so I offered that amount. How much do you want?
What did you just say?
Li Hanjiang was speechless at the man's stupidity.
Suddenly, the sound of a car engine and a blaring horn startled them both.
A police car with flashing lights sped towards them, illuminating the dark corner of the parking lot. Your Honor, why do you always do this to me? I'm not a detective, I'm a prosecutor.
A prosecutor. Park Chun-kwa yelled as he jumped out of the car.
Do you know I can't even work overtime because I'm preparing for the trial? Stop calling me.
I want to go home and sleep, please.
Wow, you're here, that was fast. Where did you get the police car? Li Hanjiang asked, watching him approach. Lawyer Kim Min-zi was sweating nervously. What should I do?
He's here.
Please, Your Honor, don't do this to me. I have a wife at home.
Kim Min-zi begged, wringing his hands.
Li Hanjiang raised an eyebrow. Wife?
Oh, right, she's pregnant and needs me by her side. Marriage is a man's grave. It's time for you to enjoy some alone time in prison, the handsome judge declared coldly. No. Please don't do this. There was a lawyer who filed an online petition against the motorcycle industry for using faulty parts, but he took a bribe and dropped the case.
Judge Li Hanjiang's sudden, out-of-the-blue statement sent chills down the lawyer's spine.
That lawyer also filed a lawsuit demanding land compensation for farmers. He persuaded them to protest so he could get the settlement money for himself.
When the farmers found out and asked about the money, do you know what that lawyer said?
Li Hanjiang asked, continuing his story.
I helped you get your land back, and now you're demanding money from me? Get lost, you animals. You don't deserve my help.
That's what he said, Li Hanjiang concluded. Park Chun-kwa was outraged. How could he do that? So I'm just returning the favor for what he did to those farmers. Animals should be locked up with other animals.
How do you know about that?
The lawyer's voice echoed through the garage, laced with fear.
Oh, and one more thing, Li Hanjiang continued. Kim Min-zi froze. What? What else?
When he was a professor at law school, there were these two female students.
Kim Min-zi shook his head frantically, denying it. No, that's not true. What about the two female students?
Prosecutor Park Chun-kwa's cold voice startled the lawyer as he appeared behind him.
You can figure out what happened to those two girls yourself. I'll send you the recording of the bribe attempt, and besides bribery, he's done a lot of other things he shouldn't have. You should investigate him thoroughly. Li Hanjiang handed the business card and the bank card to the prosecutor.
Oh, Company S?
That might be tricky, they always manage to escape punishment.
Hanjiang reassured him, Don't worry, I'll give you more evidence if you need it. It's your job to catch criminals, isn't it?
Isn't that what the government pays you for?
Park Chun-kwa was indignant. Oh, come on.
What about your salary? Are you the one paying me?
Of course, I pay taxes, Li Hanjiang smiled.
I pay taxes too. So should I be paying your salary as well? Oh, come on. What about your salary? Are you the one paying me?
Li Hanjiang, with a shameless grin, repeated the prosecutor's words, making him throw his hands up in defeat. Fine, fine, fine. I'm going to be busy with this guy for a while, let's grab dinner sometime, I have something I want to discuss, Prosecutor Park Chung-hwa sighed. But as he turned around, he saw the lawyer making a run for it.
Aren't you going to arrest him? There are people who pay their taxes honestly, Li Hanjiang teased.
Oh, come on, Your Honor.
Stop. Where do you think you're going? Park Chung-hwa yelled, sprinting after the terrified lawyer.
I just paid for the car repairs.
Let me go. Let me go. As Kim Min-zi's desperate cries echoed, Li Hanjiang couldn't help but be impressed. Wow, he's fast.
Goodbye, Kim Min-zi, you won't be committing any more crimes for a while.